2020 happened. Not this quarantine. Let's just say 2020 happened. So Ocarina of Time is one of the tournaments we are showcasing. If you guys want to join in, would you say these settings are very beginner friendly for?
Oh, these are fairly typical. If I understand this correctly, this is our weekly settings, but with just a slightly different completion rewards, plus chastisement matches contents, which is not typically turned on, but which is kind of nice. Yeah, I'm scrolling through the settings list right now. That looks, just standard weekly settings with a slight change in how to finish it.
So, there's one thing that
yes?
I believe SaltySponge did complain. Didn't complain, but brought up to the attention. Bomb chews are not in logic, so they show up in small chests.
That is correct.
So
as will heart containers, heart pieces, any kind of money, ammo refills. Keys will also have their own type of chest, separate from items. So it is expected that at least early on, these runners will open some small chests to find some money and perhaps some health, but as time goes on, they will stop it. And yeah, there are 2 bomb chews in the hash. Just kind of funny. But they are starting here. We have, let's see, tunic colors. Well, we've got vanilla and close to it for Elagatua and SariasObject, and then we have a white and a kind of pale greenish yellow from Sponge. Nothing interesting from these runners today.
So,
big chest in Midas' house.
That's a can't even see this without it.
Which is I think that's a big Goron. Yeah, that's the Goron sword. Nice find.
And early heart containers.
And the winner heart piece! They're all winners today! That's a unique item in Ocarina of Time that normally comes in the treasure game. And there's a special text box that says winner when you pick it up. Bit of a beam.
Winner chicken dinner. Alright, so it looks like everyone's leaving Qualifier Forest. SariasObject found a recovery heart in the Qualifier sword chest, and looks like that's what Dylan's saying too. And it's now time for
Ella skipped it.
It's now time for the backwards gallop.
Yep. For those who don't know, backwalking is by far and away the fastest method to get around the map in Ocarina of Time if you don't have any warps.
Throw it back. Just throw it back right now.
So this will get them 1 item and also a hint here in the Grotto coming up. Ocarina of Time has hints that are not dead useless, so unlike those of Link to the Past Rando, where hints are of dubious usefulness at best.
Well, sometimes it helps. Then sometimes you get, you go into the Misery Mire hints, and it's like Fire Rod at, Misery Mire big key location. It's like,
big chest, and 40 skulls is dead. That's good to know. Piece of heart is what we colloquially call dead. And a nice bomb bag, what we call the open grotto here in Hyrule Field.
Oh, so that bomb bag is pretty nice. We just got the same bomb chews are in logic. So does that mean our runners are just going to start ignoring smaller chests now, since they now have the bomb bag?
A little early, because they still might want some money or health, or at least for the first bit. These runners are all pretty good, but they would still like a bit more than 4 hearts to finish out the seed, I think. Kind of depends on personal preference as well. So it does look like all 4 runners are heading to South Hyrule and will be picking up that bomb bag. Elagatua and SaltySponge are both going to directly to Lake Hylia. Sometimes runners will choose to go to Gerudo Valley before going to Lake Hylia, but in this case it doesn't. Hopefully it won't make too much of a difference. Alright, the hint. Colossus is way of the hero. For those who are not familiar with Ocarina of Time Randomizer, that means that there is an item logically required to complete the game in that area. Usually, in the case of the Desert Colossus, it means there's a song required there. And songs are randomized amongst themselves in Ocarina of Time Rando. And now they're going to take the owl to get back to Hyrule Castle. So a standard opener is generally... This is a fairly standard opener. Dylan choosing to do the scrub here by the lake. The only one of our 4 runners to make use of the bomb bag for it. And SariasObject heading for Gerudo Valley, as I said earlier. There's quite a lot of ways to stop these scrubs, actually, but bombs are one of the more annoying ones.
Don't worry, you have 16 more chances. You got it. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
And
right.
So it looks like.
And hey, there's a slingshot. That might be logically required.
Slingshot's still also a very useful ranged weapon. Runner still don't have a weapon right now.
And I don't think these runners really care.
I care. Star, I care.
These runners sure as hell don't, I can tell you. Slingshot is only card required for one check in the whole entire game. We're gonna see Bomb Triple again a couple times. Master is dead, 30 skulls is dead, 50 skulls is dead, and Burning Cat is Serenade. By the way, you get very good at reading those hints really fast.
Yeah, no, I'm still trying to catch up.
And alright, I have no idea what Elagatua saw on Bomb Bowling, but I'm assuming it was useful.
Sponge is going to go ahead and get the song from Zelda.
Oh, was there a lake full of shit in Open Grotto? And I also just missed a hint from SaltySponge?
I'm trying to catch up, I'm sorry. So, Ella, it's the Bomb
Okay, Goron City Way of the hero. In the valley. Oh, some nice shoes, right, that's what that was. On Bomb Bowling, that'll explain it. Nothing, looks like there was nothing in Gerudo Valley for SariasObject. Big Goron, I did not catch what that read. SaltySponge's scream is kind of pixelated. Also, Shadow Flowmaster was a key, technically. Did not catch that specifically earlier. I know, you get pretty good at reading hints, but when it's as pixelated as Sponge's screen is for me right now, it's a little hard to tell.
Yeah, no, we have a little bit of a lower bit rate on the commentator stream here.
Yeah, we'll get another look, though, here from Elagatua. Oh, was it Lake Foolish at Hyrule Castle? Okay. It wasn't a remote grotto then for DylanMeeble, because I think he went over there, but it didn't catch what it was. I also missed the item in the bottom of the lake for SariasObject. There is only so much you can do looking in 4 directions at once.
Oh, looks like Sarias has gained the Scarecrow set up here.
Always good to have. Okay, oh, that was... Okay, that was
Sacred Meadow Way the Hero, so... would that also conclude the dungeon in there? Like... No,
dungeons are always separate from the overworld area. As you see, Bolero on the Zelda's Lullaby check. Nice early find will lead to another song when they go adult. Dungeons are always separate from their overworld areas, if you keep cherry, so... That includes Bottom of the Well, Ice Cavern, and Gerudo Training Grounds. Those are all hinted separately. I still didn't catch what the Goron crafts. That's a Goron? I thought that might have read Mirror Shield, but I'm also kind of bad at reading the hint. We are going to see what's colorful. Oh, hover boots! Yikes! I think I read 1500 horseback archery is that in the what's known as the Boulder of Destiny. Hover boots. Yikes!
Hover boots on Big Goron? That means if Shadow Temple is one of the 4 required dungeons.
Not necessarily. If it is, that's going to be terrible. Oh, Goron Tunic is on 1500 horseback archery is what that was. I can't read.
But that's... So what I learned from last time is that is very optionable.
Yes, as long as they find enough health, they don't care. And these ridders are good enough to do Fire Temple of about 600.
Alright,
finding a bottle would help as well, because then they would be able to use a fairy.
SaltySponge is going to go ahead and do the chicken game.
Yep, Talon's chickens. Everyone here looks to be doing the standard 3-song route. Songs are incredibly powerful in Ocarina of Time, so a fairly standard opener is to do what these runners have done: is go South Hyrule, go to the lake, and then catch the L to Hyrule Castle. Nice strength upgrade on Talon's chickens. That's probably required.
We'll get a song here from
Malin.
Malin, yeah. For some reason I blanked the name.
It happens.
Sarias is shuffling through Rhyme, Sarah, and Bomb Tube Bowling.
And we have Vanilla Epona song on Malin.
Well, since Desert Colossus is the Way of the Hero, that helps out a little bit there.
Potentially, depends where Requiem of Spirit ends up.
Ella is about ready to get their strength upgrade in the bonus song.
Yep. DylanMeeble and SariasObject in the meantime are doing Child Student Gallery.
Ooh, Sarias missed one.
Oh, that feels bad. At least he gets a free retry. Unfortunately, and hey, nice stick upgrade at least.
Get to
Just a
whack
part
things.
piece in the back of the Lalan Ranch silo. Good strength for Elagatua. SariasObject still can't aim. And Dylan's reading the Temple of Finance.
So this, the wire song, that means that they get both the Forest Medallion and the Fire Medallion, they get that?
No, that is Burning Cat, which is what a ravaged villa mourns, that is what that hint refers to. That means that you need the Forest, Fire, and Water medallions.
And wire, okay.
It is particularly annoying when you don't need those medallions to win the game. SariasObject here is the first of our runners to go early adult, as the other three runners all look to be doing 3-song. SaltySponge currently buying a bunch of sticks and a Deku shield for the Deku tree, I'm assuming. Unfortunately, neither he nor Elagatua have picked a stick upgrade off the adult shooting yet.
And they don't have the slingshot either.
They don't care about that. They literally couldn't care less about the slingshots. Nice to have, but it technically required for Deku Tree. They don't care. At all. Alright, we're gonna get a pedestal check here from SariasObject, which will tell us what dungeons we need. Let's see, we have... Jabu, DC, Deku...
Fire and Deku, the...
Shadow, Fire, and Fire. Alright, so... Jabu is our Light Medallion, Dodongo's Cavern is our Forest Medallion, Deku Tree is our Fire Medallion, Shadow is our Water Medallion, and Fire is our Spirit Medallion, which means that hover boots may not be required. We will we'll need to complete Fire Temple for the Spirit Medallion to get our Ganon's boss key off the Vanilla Light Arrow cutscene. We will also need to complete the Water Temple,
Forest Temple and Spirit Temple.
Forest Temple and Spirit Temple to open the Rainbow Bridge.
Now Salty found big chests.
Ooh, there's a nice scale in the Deku Tree. And another big chest. Okay. Which turns up the lens of truth. Oh dear, they don't really want to see that. Logically required for something is only hard required for the chess minigame. These runners don't need that for crossing the haunted wasteland. Alright, Texite Grotto is that a wallet? For Elagatua.
I saw big and brown, so that was either a shield or a wallet.
That was I'm pretty sure that wasn't the shield. Unfortunately, the Tom's restream is seriously pixelated.
The big brown and it sinks to the bottom.
It's not technically hardcore for a chess game, but it's a pain in the ass to do if you don't have the lens of truth.
Oh, it's big chess all throughout Tiki Tree.
Interesting, as we see. Ooh, there's a hookshot! That's very much required in the Tiki Tree. Alright, so SariasObject did do a neat little clip here. It's one-sided collision. The collision on that doesn't exist through the bottom. Great coding! So we can just hop up through the bottom of the little Flora's adult and get the item out of the next to the cow there instead.
And it was a Deku shield.
Yep, nice to have, especially because SariasObject will need a Ghost Child. Saves him 40 rupees. Oh, that reminds me, yes, before you ask Kucheri, all four of these runners, are do use he, him pronouns.
Alright. So Salty's got the super jump there. We'll go ahead
Oh, big Poe bottle in Deku too. Jesus Christ, what is this Deku tree?
Loaded Deku Tree. Also not required Deku Tree, but loaded nonetheless.
It's a fire medallion. Unfortunately, it is a fire medallion. Unfortunately, we know Burning Cactus Serenade, so they don't need it. Hey, it's nice. I mean, Serenade's nice to get to. Is kind of nice in order to get to Water Temple, but at that point, it's not worth doing 3 extra dungeons for it.
Alright, so Sarias is doing the Gravekeeper race. It's burned. SaltySponge is making quick work of Goma. We'll see if Goma drops anything for our runners.
And oh, you're kidding! Long shot on Goma? What the hell, game?
Both hook upgrades in Deku Tree. You've got to be kidding me on that one.
That's incredible. Seriously, what the hell, game? What the hell? I've seen many Ocarina of Time races and 2 hookshots in Deku Tree. Oh, it might be a new one. It's a real rare thing. There's only 7 checks in the Deku Tree, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those 7 checks have major items. Just a recovery heart on child fishing. SaltySponge is gonna check the hint here in Kokiri Forest, which is that the Skullmask is dead. Nice hint.
So SaltySponge is in a really good position right now with a long shot because Water Temple is one of the ones we need to clear, right?
Yes, it is. Also, Windmill has just Prelude. Wow, that's useless. Patently. And Valley is foolish. Thanks, game. You've already seen 2 of the free checks in there anyway from the other runners, so it does save them the headache of doing hammer rocks, I suppose, but that's about it. Going to see the Kakariko Grotto here from SariasObject, which has a hint that 50 Skulls is still dead, and the Heart Container.
SaltySponge is going through Sacred Forest Meadow right now. We get a song here.
Yep, which is likely Way of the Hero. We'll also do Wolf's Grotto, which could also be Way of the Hero. 7 hints are guaranteed in Ocarina of Time. 30 Skulls, rewards from 30 Skulls, 40 Skulls, 50 Skulls, Big Goron, the second reward from the frogs in Zora's River, and Skullmask are guaranteed hints in tourney hint distribution, which we have on here. Normally in races, the Ocarina of Time song check is a guaranteed hint, but since the stones are required to complete the game, but the forest, fire, and water medallions aren't, Burning Cactus replaces Ocarina of Time as an always hint. Ooh, nice boomerang in the Wolf's Grotto.
So if we find ourselves the lair, which I think... No, we don't have the lair, we have the invitation, right? We have Zelda's lair, not Rito's lair.
Yeah, distinct difference. Also to note that Jabu is the light medallion, which that medallion gives us absolutely nothing whatsoever. So if Boomerang is Way of the Hero, it would have to be for an item. To know also, thank you chat for pointing out that we missed the magic meter on the man on route. Nice to find. Goron City is still Way of the Hero. That's our second copy of that hint to know. There are 2 copies of each Way of the Hero hint. If we see 3, that means that location is double Way of the Hero. In other words, that there are at least 2 required items in that location required to complete the game. I think that was Frogs 2 is dead, and Lake Hylia is foolish still. And you're also seeing the longest cavern here from SariasObject. Can still clear it with the bomb bag. In these settings, Kokiri Forest is foolish. Thank you, game. Thank you. They've already done all the checks needed except for 1. And oh, Prelude has Nocturne. That's a fun one.
We did find Sun Song, where Saria's song is, and so that opens up a few checks as well, right?
It opens up a grand sum of 1 check. Because Frogs 2 is just hinted to be dead, and the only other check Sunsong locks in the game is, in these settings, is Sunsong Grave. That's it. Well, DC being Force Melon isn't too awful for Nocturne, still not really what you want to see. Alright, Elagatua is now going, and Dylan are now going into an absolutely loaded Deku Tree, as Sponge, leaves that Kokiri Forest now. Can't mind enlightening me what was in the hint in DC, because I completely missed it.
What was that?
There's a hint in Dongo's Cavern that I completely missed, and I don't know what it was. Chat, mind helping out.
Chat, the third commentator.
Oh, it always is. Nothing so far in the Dongo's Cavern otherwise, though.
So how many people read the puzzle so far? I know Sari is dead.
He was the only one. The others have not gone adult yet.
So SaltySponge has finished Deku Tree. Ella's about ready to finish it as well. Both Ella and Dylan will have the long shot once they're all done with this, which is still just crazy.
It is, it really is. And it's required too, because Water Temple is a stone today. We'll need that for a Rainbow Bridge. Don't say that too often. Because normally, Ocarina of Time Randomizer removes the Ganon boss and has all medallions recorded for the Rainbow Bridge instead, so this is a little bit different. Sponge picking up his stick upgrade off Shooting Gallery, a little bit late for it. Would have liked that before he went to Deku Tree, so oh well. Alright, the DC bridge is just junk. I don't know what the heck is up with this.
Props in this dungeon, it's just insane.
Oh, if you don't have there's a big cobalt I missed earlier. If you don't have a bomb bag, a slingshot, or a bow, bomb refills, and arrow refills, and Deku Seed refills will all be replaced by blue refills. That's part of why there's so many blue keys in the pool. It's a bit of a meme. Sponge is having a really bad day on Bombchu Bowling. There's a set for it, but I don't think he got it, unfortunately. And it's gonna try again. If you blow yourself up and step back, you get just the right angle to do what Sponge just succeeded at, and you do it off to the side instead of trying to do it the vanilla way, which is quite a pain to do.
Well, Sponge does get the bomb chews from Bombchu Bowling.
There is a big chest for SariasObject, which has another slingshot. Alright, that's not particularly helpful.
Is that something that happens? The duplicating, like, slingshots?
There are 3 each of slingshots, bomb bags, and bows in the game.
Oh, there.
Yeah, and they're progressive, so you will always find first the 20 bomb bag, then the 30, and then the 40. I think slingshot is 20, 30, 40, and then bows and quivers are 30, 40, 50. Actually, no, it's 20, 30, 40 for bomb bags and 30, 40, 50 for slingshots and bows. I got the counts mixed up.
If you find another slingshot, that's just an upgrade to the slingshot bag.
It's a bigger bullet bag is what it is.
Okay.
We'll likely see it from DylanMeeble at some point. There's Fire Medallion for Elagatua, and Sponge is now adult.
Saria's just also got the Fire Medallion, I believe.
Elagatua did.
Oh.
And Dylan is about to.
Oh, no, yeah, that's Forest, alright. Saria's is about ready to get the Forest Medallion. Just cleared Dogongo.
Yes, he is. Which will get him his Nocturne. Shadow Temple may not be required today, unless there is an item in there. Although it is a serious meme in the Ocarina of Time Randomizer community that Shadow Temple, if it is not technically required, usually this is a stone shadow. It's usually stone shadow in that case, since stones are not required in usual Ocarina of Time random races. Nothing on big bows. It's amazing that Stone Shadow always has something, and this just straight up non-required Shadow Temple will always find a way to have something required to complete the game. Doesn't matter what, it always does, it feels. There's another strength upgrade in the Death Mountain Trail wall for SariasObject. That's strength 2. That's required considering Spirit Temples is a stone. I need to remember that this is stone bridged. And that's the other copy. Ooh, there's a bow on Ocarina memory game. And just a bloopy in the Lost Woods Bridge scrub.
Whereas the Zangoran say Boulder Maze. Let's see what items here.
Yeah, it's like Pendant Paw, basically, is what Stone Shadow is. There's... Yes! Decker Tree is Way of the Hero. Thank you, game! Couldn't have possibly gotten that out. Not like we didn't see 5 major items in there.
So that's where Sarah's going next after all this, right?
He has to. He's gonna be amused, but he's gonna be like, really, hit? Really? Slightly more useful because he hasn't done Decker Tree. Well, the other 3 have already done it. Nice goal on the slingshot target in the woods for DylanMeeble. The text box says, "You are a fool" whenever you pick those up. Pretty memey as well. Yeah, Deku Way of the Hero. We have, let's see, long shot, scale, lens, and a bottle in Deku Tree. Long shot is guaranteed Way of the Hero. The scale, lens, and bottle might be Way of the Hero. Okay, thank you, VXR, saying that the DC hint was the well dead.
Something I'll run with like here. Well, being dead. Starting past Mido to get to the Lost Woods here.
No, he's doing what's a trick known as Mido Skip to get to Sacred Forest Meadow as Adel is what it is. Alright, Sponge is gonna take his potentially Way of the Hero's Sun Song to see if that's actually anything. We are going to see the last of our potentially Way of the Hero songs here in SFM from SariasObject in about a minute anyway. So we'll know what's Way of the Hero here. There's Boomerang. Part piece on the Lost Woods Bridge, on the Lost Woods Scrub Router for Dylan.
Yep, Wes from Sung Song.
Big chest is... Oh, there's a wallet. Oh boy. There's a wallet.
More money.
That's not necessarily a good thing. You never really want to see a wallet. I completely missed what's in the graveyard box. Because we do know where a second wallet is. And we know of one Goron tunic, which is, potentially available. Once we find opponents. And there's Song of Time on Minuet, so all 3 of our Way of the Hero options in Sacred Forest Meadow kind of suck. Sun Song is Way of the Hero, might be Way of the Hero for a bottle. Jabu, it would be... Jabu is the light medallion, so that would mean there's an item in... There's an item of some sort in Jabu with Boomerang is Way of the Hero, and Sun Song Way of the Hero for a wallet is just disgusting because there's only 2 things in the there's only 3 things in the game wallet can be Way of the Hero for. It's to buy a tunic, or it's to buy Blue Fire to go unfreeze King Zora because King Zora is somehow locking Naruto's letter, which he would use to get to Ice Cavern to get Blue Fire to unfreeze him normally. Those options all suck. Oh, there's a claim check on Hot Rodder Goron. That's a bit concerning.
Grab this red rupee now.
We might need to change the audio there. Our bad.
Yeah,
Baby
we do.
chests.
Hoverboots might be logically required for Fire True, so since Fire Temple is such an open-ended dungeon, you can get to Volvagia as soon as you find the boss key. And if you don't have enough keys at that point,
Alcohol.
Oh,
no one calls magic alcohol an OOT archery.
wow.
That's not really a thing. And there's the other copy of the 1500 HP being a Goron tunic. What the hell is on the volcano? I can't tell.
Sorry, was trying to fix the audio thing. I don't see anything up there.
I don't either. That item could be notoriously difficult to spot, as we see Zelda's Lullaby in Death Mountain Crater. Very handy to have. That is frequently required just to complete the game, especially since Water Temple is hard required as a stone today. The odds of you not needing Zelda's Lullaby for Water Temple are extremely slim. It is possible, but not common. Because there are only 2 checks in logic in Water Temple without Zelda's Lullaby. Otherwise, you need to use Zelda's Lullaby to lower the water level. Also, Goron City was Wave Hero. The only thing we've seen in there so far was that claim check. That's not a good thing. Because that means hover boots could be required for hopefully Fire Temple and not Shadow Temple, but Shadow does love to find a way. It really does.
Big Goron has it. That means you have to do the full trade sequence, right?
No, you don't. The item you start with in the sequence is randomized in Randomizer. In this case, you get the claim check. They just turned it in.
Okay.
So normally you start with a pocket egg. You trade that in for that catches into the pocket cuckoo, and then you trade that up. Odd mushroom, poacher sod, odd medicine, and the list goes on and on. In Randomizer, you can choose how many items it can pick from. In this case, in standard race settings, it's just prescription through claim check, so you don't have to do the whole dang quest. It's not too bad. In this case, we got the claim check, so the shortest possible. You show the claim check to Big Goron, and you're done.
Did you get the Hylian shield? Or I cannot pronounce stuff right now.
Hylian.
Hylian.
Spellmask is still dead.
Ella has gained the stick upgrade.
Yep. Alright, so our Wave of Heroes collectively suck right now. Deku Tree is about the most straightforward one, just because we know Longshot is guaranteed Wave to Hero. The others are all ambiguous and annoying at best. There's Strength 2 for SaltySponge. And SariasObject is finally doing 3-song. Sponge is gonna go to DC here, I expect, once he picks up this skull, which you can get by hookshotting through the boulder, although he's having a bit of trouble with it. Normally, you'd logically need a hammer to blow up this, to destroy this rock to get this hook sculpture normally, but he gets it.
Looks like Salty's going to go ahead and do DC now.
Yep, he is. Getting to choose as well, because why not?
Free to choose.
And Elagatua is now heading at a... So, to know, one thing I will expect these runners to do once they finish Forest Temple is that they will likely take themselves on over to Forest Temple. It is a stone today, and they do need to not to mention, they have a hookshot, they have a strength upgrade, and they have a bow. They can full clear Forest Temple right now, so I fully expect that's where they're going next. Once they finish the Dongo's Cavern. Elagatua going straight to Bolero to pick up Zelda's Lullaby, and then probably head down the mountain from there. I'm just gonna find not a whole lot of things here in Dodongo's Cavern. Just a slingshot, which is not really that useful, especially because he's already done Deku Tree.
Darius is going to go ahead and play the chicken game. We'll also get a bonus song.
I actually forgot that we already had a bonus song when discussing potential wallet wave to heroes. Yeah, a wallet can be waved to hero for a Goron Tunic because we can currently access a Goron Tunic already in Logic with a bonus song and a bow to get across the Gerudo's Fortress. And, do horseback archery, because there was a Goron Tunic hidden down in 1500 over there. Well, I'm just going for skulls a bit hard. Longshot makes getting this skull extremely easy. It's a pain in the rear to get otherwise. Alright, not seeing too much of any new checks here from these runners right now.
While we're looking at the runners doing everything everyone else has done, don't forget to give them a follow.
Yep.
And good show. Don't forget this is all for SpeedGaming Live 2020. The link to the past tournament there. We also have a whole
Link
bunch
to
of
the
other
past? You mean Ocarina of Time, Random?
There's also a link to the past. There's also, I think, Z1R's on there too.
Yes, there is. There's a bunch of different tournaments. What's the command? There's the command. You can find out more.
Castlevania, Oreo Sorrow Randomizer, Castlevania 1, Mega Man X.
Yep.
Ella got the hover boots.
And we're just not seeing much. Also, shoutouts to my co-com here, Kuchiri, and to our two trackers, Hollowbro and August 40th. Helping us out behind the scenes, tracking the items, making sure we know what each runner has. Tracking is a difficult job. I do so on the regular myself. Never easy, especially because this is a little bit of a last-minute crew, so shout out to them hopping in last minute to give us a hand. I think you're doing all right, August. Viewers, I know we might have some people here who might not be as Ocarina of Time random. I see we have a bunch of regulars in chat, BXR being one of them, who is always helpful. Thank you for pointing out everything we missed. But if you have any questions, newer viewers to Ocarina of Time random, please ask. ZSR, hi, yep. We're mostly over on Zelda speedruns, so SpeedGaming is a bit of a change.
Yep. Sorry, is about ready to go ahead and find the smorgasbord of items in Deku Tree.
And roll his eyes at the fact that it was hinted way at the hero.
So, what if Saria just grabs like the hookshot and leaves? Like,
I don't think so. Deku Tree is very fast. It takes about 5 minutes, and there's an adage in Ocarina of Time to always full clear your way of the heroes, so whenever a seed is generated and with a spoiler log, the randomizer will always give you a list of way of the hero items that are logically required to beat the seed. In this case, Water Temple is a stone with Stone Rainbow Bridge, so it logically requires both. So it actually, in this rule set, hard requires both hookshots to finish Water Temple, if nothing else. There's other places where it's useful. So those are both on the way of the hero list of items. The scale, the lens, and the bottle may also be way of the hero. Potentially, the more items that are on the list of way of the hero items in the spoiler log that are in the location. Nice paperweight, as it's done back in the Stone King Ganga. The more items it is on the way of the hero list for an area, the more likely it is to be way of the hero because there's more chances of it. So if say there's 15 way of the hero items in a seed and 3 of them are in Deku Tree, there's a much higher chance it'll be picked to be way of the hero than if there's just 1 out of 15 items, for instance.
Alright, so
And we know Longshot is guaranteed Wave the Hero. There's slots Nocturne for Sponge. Dylan, the first of our runners, into Forest Temple at 3:38 minutes. Good idea. It's a stone. It's required for once.
that's why I was
And
about
he
ready to
can clear
ask. Yep. That's why I was about ready to bring up.
And yes, the Wreck Wave is likely vanilla, with Lens and Wave the Hero location and Spirit Temple being required. So we will see some new checks here in Forest Temple for Dylan. It's still not the most interesting of dungeons. It's infamous for being extremely linear and extremely long. You don't even need to change your equips for it. You see the equips Dylan has right now? A buckshot, a bow, and a bomb bag? Those are pretty much the only equips he'll need for this dungeon. He might swap out the bomb for nuts, but that's about it.
Rose gets the first hook shot. Little does Sarias know he will get another one.
And Sponge is the first to check out the Composer Grave here. This gives you a song. He cannot check the item, unfortunately, has no fire source, and is not a child.
You're too big to ride.
And there's Song of Storms. In this case, so for those who don't know, Ocarina of Time Randomizer racing mostly runs on the standard rule set, which is by and large glitchless, with certain tricks enabled, and a grand sum of 2 glitches, basically, which are ground jumps, which is where you use a bomb to give you some extra height to jump up on ledges. Saves you a bunch of time all over the place. We'll see it. I'll try and point it out when you get an opportunity to see that. And flame storage, which is where, if you put away a stick in the same frame as it is being lit. Actually, I think SariasObject might have done it. If you put away a Deku stick out the same frame as it is being lit, it will still be lit when you pull the stick out again, as long as the original torch is still loaded, as Sarias is doing here. He did exactly flame storage earlier on the torch before doing what is known as B1 skip to the skip the slingshot requirement. You can also do a ground jump. He just chose to skip that instead. Alright, Forest Island chest has a big chest. Later. There's our third slingshot. Not helpful, Kate. Not helpful for Dylan. Not helpful in the slightest. They don't even need any slingshots. They sure don't need 3.
So, what's one of the things our runners are looking for here in Forest Temple? Mirror shield.
Mirror shield. They would like iron boots or gold scale, and they need a hammer. Light arrows would be nice too.
There's Finish off Goma. We'll get their long shot, and Dylan Ella just keeps on moving on through Forest Temple.
Yep. And I expect there's a decent chance Sponge will follow them shortly once he clears out Goron City, which means we're gonna get triple Forest. Forest is not known for being an engaging dungeon to watch. It's long, it's linear, there's not that many checks. There's a key in the Forest Temple well. Just generally, Forest has a reputation for not being interesting in the slightest. Sacred Forest Meadow is still waived here. That is the second copy of that hint in the Death Mountain Trailstorms Grotto. I have to remember to not use as many acronyms since we do have newer viewers here.
Yep.
Who might not know all of our shorthands or everything.
So for hints, if there's multiple, does that mean there's multiple items that are Way of the Hero? Or just...
No. So there are different there are different hint distributions for Ocarina of Time Randomizer. We are using the tournament one today, which is the one typically used for racing, as the name kind of implies. Each Way of the Hero, so each hint has 2 copies. In the case of Way of the Heroes, if you see more than 2 copies of a Way of the Hero hint, that means that it is double Way of the Hero. If you see more than 4 copies, it is triple Way of the Hero. So if we have already seen 2 copies each of the Goron City and Sacred Forest. Wow, words. We've seen 2 copies each of the Grand City and Sacred Forest Meadow hints so far. If we see a third of either, that means that location is double weighted here, so there are 2 required items to complete the game, logically, in those locations. Doesn't necessarily mean hard required. Deku Tree could be double weighted the hero for Longshot and Lens. Just across the wasteland. They don't need Lens to cross the wasteland. The Sponge is now going to join Elagatua and Dylan here in Forest Temple. Triple Forest, everyone.
Looks like
Get your
Sarias
Resident
might.
Sleeper or ZSR Sleep or any other appropriate emotes here in chat, because this is really not interesting.
So it looks like Sarias doing all their Sacred Forest Meadow checks now. In the song, we'll probably go adult to the Mario skip, and we'll probably be the 4th person in there.
Yep, Quad Forest, everyone. Quad Forest. Legendarily boring, because it's slow, there's not a ton of items, and you can't do any routing divergence. It is the exact same route every single time. Thankfully, one of the quality of life improvements in Ocarina of Time Randomizer is fast block pushing. So blocks move a lot faster when you push them instead of extraordinarily slow the way they are in the vanilla game.
Well, you're a 5-foot-something elf pushing something that's like easily 2,000 pounds. I mean,
which is fair, but it's still slow.
I would love to see, like, in the vanilla game, like, if you had stronger gauntlets, you have faster pushing with those blocks.
No such luck. Alright. Forest boss key chest is just a small chest, so Dylan's just gonna not even bother and just skip it. That's the benefit of chest size matches content, is you can take a look at chest, discover instead, and decide to ask for it. Elagatua picks it up and found it as a nut upgrade, so it takes spend a little time, but is probably gonna get it back by using nuts, because Deku nuts are incredibly useful. People probably don't realize this in vanilla. You might use it a couple times and decide it's horrendous. They're actually great for stunning enemies, making pose a lot easier, and even killing Ganon if you don't have a hammer or a Bigoron sword. They also do a really good job of killing the bubbles in Jabu Jabu's belly in one hit, among many, many other uses. You'll see Dylan make good use of his nuts on the code here, using on to stun it so he doesn't have to chase after it. I don't even know what vanilla strats are on these things at this point. A runner's always just use the nut strat, because it's so much easier.
So, I've never seen Nuts versus Ganon, but that sounds really nutty.
Yeah, they have a ridiculously giant hitbox. If you don't have hammer or Bigoron sword to hit his tail, you just roll through his legs, throw a nut, and it hits. For some reason, Deku Nuts normally only stun enemies, or one-shot the bubbles in Jabu, but they do actually do damage to Ganon. I think it's because Ocarina of Time is a well-programmed game! Hey, there's the boss key on the vanilla boat chest for Dylan. Small chests are in small keys are in a small chest with that texture. The boss keys are in a big chest with that texture. Is how you tell the difference. And Sari's just gonna picked up his wallet off Sunsong Grave here. Yeah, songs are hard.
You know, just doing some casual grave robbing, stealing a wallet from a deceased person. So
yeah, you're seeing just more nut strats. By the way, jump slashes do twice the damage of normal sword slashes, so you'll see runners do jump slashes when they can. Because that's intended. Power crouch stab is where you use your shield and stab with the sword at the same time. are even more overpowered because they don't actually have a base damage value programmed into the game. So it will just store the damage of whatever the last attack you use. So runners will often like to store a jump slash and then crouch stab because they're easier. They take less time than jump slashes, but still do the same damage because, well, OOT is a very well-programmed game. Running joke. There's a lot of things there's a lot of quirks of the game we'll see here.
Welcome to SpeedGaming. We say that about every game.
Which is fair. Yeah, SariasObject is taking his potentially way of the hero lens to the lens minigame, which makes sense. This, it's possible to do without the lens, but it is a 1 in 32 chance that you get it right, and, it's not exactly great odds of getting it right, to be honest. Usually, runners don't bother. This forest temple is proving to be empty. Sponge is, for some reason, deciding to leave. It's a stone and he needs to complete it. He can clear it. Nothing in the lens minigame. Why is Sponge failing? I'm confused.
Sponge things. Sponge is doing sponge things. Sponge does have a bow, right?
Yes, it does. At least it's marked on the tracker. But I honestly don't remember if I saw him pick it up off the Ocarina memory game.
No bow.
Okay, so yeah, tracker will need to be fixed then. Sponge does not have a bow yet, because he didn't actually do Ocarina memory game, yeah, now that I think about it. Bow was Ocarina memory game, -2 points. Hello, by the way. Another Ocarina of Time rando runner.
No, so TheSaltySponge was dipping Forest Meadow, hoping to find a bow in there.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I think Sponge did, in fact, might have skipped Child Lost Woods. Also doesn't have the claim check. Hot Rodder and Way of the Hero Goron City. Is going to check out the Hyrule Castle Ferry here now, if he can climb the vines. Yep, SariasObject and Restream. We do actually have 8 total runners in this race. There's 4 off Restream, Gavaroni, Holy Sparks, Mr. Martin, and Zephyr. Very good runners here. Do keep in mind, though, we would rather not get spoiled until on what the other runners are doing. We prefer to focus on the 4 here on Restream.
Yeah, SG's weird. We normally don't talk about them until one runner is finished on stream.
Well, it's the same on Ocarina of Time as well. Just typically for Zelda speedruns, which is where most Ocarina of Time races are hosted.
Alright, Dylan's doing the room push quote-unquote puzzle.
It's just push blocks and push a thing in a circle. Yeah.
Oh, Dylan has 11 spiders now.
Yes, he does. It's not particularly hard to pick them up. He'll get 5 here in Forest Temple alone, and a bunch more on the way. I still can't tell what's on the volcano.
Did we determine? So we determined 30 and up are worthless.
Yes, because we saw hints for them. They are guaranteed hints. If token bridge is up, or if the number of tokens for the Rainbow Bridge, because you can't set the Rainbow Bridge to record a certain number of skull tokens. If token bridge is up, or it is less than, or it is greater than less than a certain number, then the hint will be guaranteed. Hint logic gets kind of complicated for Randomizer, but the long story short here is, for SpeedGaming live purposes, you will always get hints for 30, 40, and 50 skulls. 20 skulls is sometimes hidden, so you might see that as well. I don't think we're seeing that one today, but it is a possibility. Hello, Speed Gaming 2 rating with a party of 31. Welcome into Ocarina of Time Randomizer. We're doing a practice race here in preparation for the Speed Gaming Live tournament. So today we have Elagatua, DylanMeeble, TheSaltySponge, and Sarias. We don't feature Ocarina of Time Rando over here on Speed Gaming too much, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask. There's random Ganon down for Dylan. Let's see if Forest Temple had anything useful, or if it was just our third slingshot.
Ella is also on the fight as well, and we get more nuts.
Justice.
This is stone.
Yeah. Yep, Forest Temple was useless. And it turns out it was the Goron Ruby. The 3 stones are functionally exactly the same, so it makes no difference. There's hover boots.
The big Goron going, ooh, was just the perfect timing. That's why you know that. Perfect timing.
Also, to know that in the vanilla game, you have to wait 3 days after turning in a claim check, so that the Goron can forge the sword, but here, Randomizer removes that, so you don't have to bother with it. I love these quality of life improvements. Fire Wave the Hero? I don't think we've seen a hint for Fire Wave the Hero VXR.
Well, I think that might be a tunic on top of the volcano.
I honestly cannot tell for the life of me. It's an exceptionally difficult item to spot because it's really far away and there's a lot of smoke. Thank you, VXR, saying he'll check. SariasObject will actually be the first of runners here to check the Goron City Maze left side chest, which requires either hammer or strength 2. Hammer to break up the brown rock, the dark brown, reddish brown rock, or the strength 2 to pick up the silver rocks. Neither works to get access to this item. You can do it without logic with hover boots, but not the case. Unfortunately, just a red rupee, so I think that means it probably claim check to hover boots way of the hero in Goron City. Unless, the Goron City Spinning Power to Runia have an item. We are doing Ocarina of Time Randomizer, Jackaroo loves you. So Ocarina of Time, but randomized, so all the items are shuffled. And they have to find the items to beat dungeons to beat the game. And this, and the medallions and stone rewards of the dungeons are randomized as well. Today, they need to collect all 3 spiritual stones to open the bridge and get the shadow and spirit medallions to get the Ganon's castle boss key off the vanilla light arrow cutscene. They started with the shadow medallion. Water, forest, and spirit are stones, and fire temple is our spirit medallion, so those are the other dungeons we need to complete. Currently, we need either gold scale or iron boots to get into water temple, mirror shield for spirit temple, hammer for fire temple, and light arrows to complete the game is what we need for go mode. Oh, here's our last raid here. Alright, thank you. Where was that hit, actually? VXR, because I missed it.
Alright, so, basically right now everyone needs to get over to, Desert Colossus, it sounds like.
Yes, it is in logic now, with a longshot, lens, and magic. In turn race settings, generally, the Lens of Truth is logically only required to cross the Haunted Wasteland and for the chest minigame. You do not need it anywhere else. So you won't need it for Shadow Temple, you won't need it for Bottom of the Well, you don't need it for GTG, you don't need it for Spirit Temple. You only need it for Kokiri Storms is far away here, thank you. You only ever need the lens for 2 things, Wasteland and the chess minigame, and since Desert Colossus is the way of the hero, these runners do want to get over there. Also, was that double magic in the upper river? And in practice, you only need it for the chess game, because most of these runners are good enough to not need the lens for the Wasteland. And Sponge is gonna check out Goron City Spinning Pot, also known as Trent Spot, after a particularly infamous seed roller, which is just a recovery heart. So that is definitely not Way of the Hero.
Alright, looks like Dylan and Ella is going to go ahead and do Dogongo. You know, Saria is going to go ahead and start doing all the stuff over here at the waterway
Zora's River.
river.
There are 3 checks and 3 hints here. And 2 Skulltulas.
Plus beans.
You can only get those as child.
Still.
And there's the other Bullet Valley hint. Thank you, game.
Beans. Now let's go fruit. Right? This hint.
Frog's
Frog.
2 dead hit in Zora's River. That's a convenient location. Love when the hint is right next to the check as for, or if there's a Way of the Hero or Foolish hint for the area the hint stone is in. Always love that. Thank you, game. Thank you. They already all saw the hint in Sacred Sports Medal already, so it's even more of an eye roll. It was just an incredibly bad check, because it's the one that the check you get by playing all 6 non-warp songs to the frogs in Zora's River, and then playing another sequence of notes for them afterwards. It is a pain in the rear. It takes a lot of time, and just getting all 6 songs can be annoying, which is why that hint is always guaranteed in pretty much every hint distribution ever. Actually. It is one of the few. It is one of the very few checks that is always a hint, in no matter what your hint distribution is.
So Sarias is going to actually going south. Got some grow checks. Looks like.
Yes, he is. Also going to do Adult Lake Hylia. It looks like.
I think Salty's going down the well.
Yep, he is. Can folklore this place. Lake Hylia is still a foolish choice. Thank you, game. We have seen every hint in the game except for one last sometimes hint. There are a series of sometimes hints that tell you about useful annoying locations like Shadow Floormaster, 1500 Horseback Archery, at the Temple of Time Song, and the Dead Hand in the Well, which are 4 sometimes hints we've seen today. We are still missing one, so we'll see where that is. They're annoying enough that a hint is nice, but not so annoying that it is guaranteed. So there's probably 10 or 15 of them or something the game picks from. I forget the exact number. The exact number for these settings. The exact number varies depending on settings and hint distribution. Well, they're mostly settings, actually, so. And there's a sun check for SariasObject.
Dylan's finished off Dogongo. We'll get their forest medallion.
Yep. And we'll see what's here in the well for Sponge. Do I spy a big chest? No, that is a small chest. With a small key in it. Okay. Because that is one of the checks where sometimes chest size matches contents create some quirks with the chest is not the size of the game intends it to be. So actually, if that chest there is a big chest, it will poke out of the rubble that you have to blow up to get it. And SariasObject is the first off to Gerudo Valley. You're likely to go check out Way of the Hero Desert Colossus, which in my guess probably has vanilla Requiem of Spirit Temple. Since Spirit Temple is a medallion, and there is a very good chance that there is at least one small key hard-locked by child side in Spirit Temple. And because Spirit Temple key logic, which is incredibly confusing, logically requires all 5 small keys. For those who are more familiar with the LTDPR, Spirit Key Logic is about as bad as Pod Key Logic. It might be worse, actually.
Pod Key Logic isn't that bad.
It's still probably one of the worst in ALTDPR. Spirit's that equivalent, but probably worse for Ocarina of Time Rando. It's bad enough there's an entire, 3 or 5 page Google document describing the quirks of Spirit Key Logic.
No, Pod Key Logic is more when you try and decide when a key, a check is worthless because it's just going to be turning a key into another key. That's all of what Pod Key Logic is about.
The Spirit Key Logic is a nightmare. It involves any number of items. It You need all 5 keys. There's a fact that you can access the temple as child and adult with different items. It's a hot mess, and I don't particularly feel it, and I can't even go through it right now.
Key Lodge is like, oh, I've already found 3 small keys in the front half, so this, vanilla big key chest is a small key, so I don't need to waste a small key to get this small key. That's 1 less check.
Yeah, Spirit Key Logic and Pod Key Logic are both bad, but for very different reasons.
Of course, you almost always have to teach a new commentator the quirks of Thieves' Town key logic.
Oh yeah, which is interesting. I remember, so Pod Key Logic, I was commentating a daily race for ALTTPR yesterday. Not yesterday, the day before yesterday, where one runner miscounted pod keys and skipped an item in the front, which turned out to be a major progression item. He last location and was very annoyed with the siege, to say the least.
Oh, that sounds like Professor.
Yes, it does. And there's love for Sponge, which is not really useful for runners of caliber and extreme and logically useless too in these settings. And so far, that's been the only thing of note in here. There's been nothing else in the well, which says a lot.
The Sarias is doing Gerudo training grounds right now.
Yes, he is. And there's another bottle in the well basement, which is arguably more useful than Neru's Love, but still not great. They don't really want to see it at any rate. Alright, Sponge is done. He's going back out.
Well,
And one thing about GTG is you can see the chest all in the maze if you're good enough. I'm terrible at it myself, but it did look like the center chest was a big chest. SariasObject can do every single check in here except for a handful. Since he does not have iron boots, he cannot do the infamous check known as the toilet, which he just walked past there. We have to collect the rupees in that room there with the lava, go into a different room, sink down into a swirly pit of water and enemies and all kinds of nasty stuff, and collect a bunch more silver rupees to get a chest. Infamous for being called the toilet. It's just takes like 2 minutes. It's one check, and it is just infamous for being terrible. Having iron boots in the D-pad helps a lot with it, but particularly awful in early versions of Rando.
No, Sarias is dipping out.
Yep. Yeah, Song of Time is logically required for the scepter test with a freestanding key. Since in Ocarina of Time, Rando, it assumes you are an idiot with key usage, so you will waste 2 of your keys on the right side and then run out of keys for the left side. And if there's a key on the right side, you will need Song of Time to get that key. And the center chest does require all 9 keys. Key logic assuming your worst key usage possible is also why Spirit Key logic is as bad as it is.
That's Thieves' Town key logic.
What?
Thieves' Town key logic.
Yeah, and no, Thieves' Town key logic still not nearly as spaghetti in a lot of ways. I'm still learning the LTTPR logic myself. Not really the place to discuss it, but trust me, it's nowhere near as bad as a Spirit Temple key logic. There's some other quirks too. Like hover boots can actually be required logically to get to the courtyards of Forest Temple if you can't find a key. Because you can go to the Black Plush room, get up top, and then hover across to the little door from what is normally the Floor Master chest. That can be your first logical access to the courtyard. Especially interesting, but there are quirks. Hover boots can be required for Fire Temple as well as Forest Temple. Now, Forest Temple was not hover slot today, you know?
Salty's back into forest symbol now with the bow.
Yep. Rarely Fire and Force. Water Temple key logic can be funny just because there's certain checks that that logically require all 5 keys, and there is also an extra key in both Fire and Water and OTR because they remove a key door to make key logic slightly less horrible.
Your shield is gone!
Yeah, likes, which also have terrible hitboxes. That one was okay too, Sponge, but it's Sarias, but he's not especially amused by it, as indicated by him bombing the spot. Also, very late happy 1 hour, I suppose, although it's an hour and 9 minutes. This is likely to go about 3 hours with these runners on this seed so far. These runners are of a caliber where they can sub for all but the absolute god-awful worst steeds in standard settings and something fairly close to it like this. And they can oftentimes do a seed under 3 hours. I think all the runners they can usually sub through most seeds. Can sub for most seeds. There's white arrows.
White arrows. Ooh, that's big.
That's required.
Last time we did one of these, I believe the winning time was like 2 hours 10 minutes.
That's a very, very fast. Even for these settings, where it requires one less dungeon than standards than
they
our
had
usual
5
race
dungeons
settings. That's still quite nice. That's still quite a nice time. Which does make me laugh when I'm on ALTPPR comms or check and people start complaining once the seat gets past like an hour and a half for an open seat. And I'm like,
oh,
I
mean, I did a lot earlier today where I basically 100'd the seed in an hour 40.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah, also there was another bomb back in GTG, not useful. SariasObject is hoping for another key in here somewhere. He entered the maze with 6, so there's 3 left. Not sure which chest skipped, mainly because I kind of lost count. But evidently there are not enough keys in there. He did not see enough key chests in there for him to go get, so he can get that big chest. He is out of luck and he's out of there. Light arrows are worth it, though, if nothing else. Oh, he doesn't have a bow. Okay, that would explain it, because he's missing 4 checks from the bow. Yeah, it's on the tracker, but he, I guess, doesn't actually have it. I can't tell either. It's hard to remember what each runner has without looking at the tracker. Although tracking is also quite difficult. Shoutouts to our trackers, Hollowbro and August 40th. Speaking of, shoutouts to our runners, Elagatua, DylanMeeble, TheSaltySponge, and, SariasObject, and to my co-com here, Kuchiri.
Alright, Star. So, you said there was multiple bows in the pool?
Yes, there are 3 bows in the pool.
So, is it possible for SariasObject, once they get to, Spirit Temple, to find a bow there and just kind of, right themselves?
Yes, there are 2 other bows in the pool. We do not know where they are. We have not seen I don't think we've seen the other 2 bows, so we will see if there is another bow available. It is possible they could all be bow locked, but who knows?
Bow locked bow.
Rando, I rolled some people a seed the other day that had your first and only bow on 30 skulls, with both of the other bows being 100% hard bow locked. Runners weren't particularly happy with me over it.
So you really strung them along, didn't you?
Sure.
Ooh, Sponge missing the quick fire area there.
And missing it again! Unfortunately, you just gonna have to wait.
Just focus on him as he messes up. Okay, there we go. Got it that time.
Yeah. Just imagine that hasn't Quiver confused Star lol, Zeke. You haven't seen anything it comes to my seeds. If you think Professor Render receipts are bad for ALTPR, I'm as bad if not worse for OOTR. I rolled some spectacularly horrible seeds. 30 Skulls bow is actually not that it's not spectacularly awful for my seat. It's bad, but it's not ridiculous. I rolled significantly worse.
Alright, so
At
he's
least
doing
30
the
is
Great
something,
Fairy
yeah.
Fountain. And Ella is going over to Gerudo Valley.
Alright,
Has the
Colossus
bow.
Fairy is dead. Yeah, the runner's in that 30 Skulls bow, so you assumed it wasn't the first bow. They got skulls anyway because you don't want to assume it's not a bow, it's not your first bow, and then just not get skulls and get screwed over by it. Generally, if you see a major item on the high skull count, that it might be required, get skulls until you know it's definitely not required. Like, you don't need to go super hard and go out of the way for every skull, but at least get the ones on your way. Because you never, ever want to get stuck. What is that? Is that a rupee? And that's the last hint. Adult Shooting Gallery is dead. Not helpful considering all of these runners did it already. Alright, Dylan's in the well, that's useless, and Elagatua is falling SariasObject out of the desert as Sponge finishes off Forest Temple. Well, he's getting near the end at this point.
Dylan will at least find some biles here. Be useful, to feed fishes to a giant well. So of course you also get a bile for when you find Ruto's layers anyway.
Yeah, they don't necessarily need Jabu either. It's the light medallion. Boomerang's might be way of here, but they're really hoping to God it isn't. Although their way of hero options for Sacred Spore and Meta all suck. It's one of three things. Song of Time. Sun Song for a wallet or the boomerang. And none of those are good options. Song of Time could lock the toilet. And whatever's in the center of GTG.
Well, we get fire arrows for Ella.
Oh, nice. GTG lobby.
So that's 2 arrows in GTG. Can we get ice arrows in here too? Is that something?
That would be French vanilla. Or vanilla, actually, if they're the big chest in the middle, which I would laugh so hard at. And yes, to note, also, they are keylocked. Well, by Child Spirit, which is not a problem, because Requiem is vanilla. So that's where I'm gonna guess Cyrus is gonna go Child Spirit here shortly. Yep, he is going there. Figured as much. No, we don't have many songs left. We only have Minuet and Saria's song. Minuet, Saria's song, and Serenade, which are on the Ice Cavern. Oh, yeah, no, we're Serenade. So we have Minuet and Saria's, which are Ice Cavern and Prelude. And, not Ice Cavern, Prelude. Ice Cavern and Ocarina of Time soundtracks are the remaining 2 left, which are Minuet and Sarias, so Forest Temple is currently out of logic, because you logically need either Minuet or Saria's song to get past Mido.
And of course, Goron City was the way of the hero. We find Saria's song. That's Daruna, right?
Yes, it is. That is the only check left in Goron City. We have seen everything else. The only thing that has turned up in there so far is hover boots. Which could be required for Fire Temple, but if it's not that, then it's Shadow Temple.
Saria's in Royal Family Tomb now. Using the slingshot as a ranged weapon, as I said earlier, so useful.
Yeah, usually runners will just nut a piece instead of slingshot. Or if you're just too lazy to equip it.
Thanks, Saria, for backing me up on that one.
Oh, can it be useful? Yes. It's just runners of this caliber don't really care for it because it's not useful enough. There's a difference between nice to have and actually required. And also confirms that Lens was Lens and Longshot were both Way of the Hero and Deku Tree because you logically needed to cross the wasteland. Because you needed to cross the. You had to cross the wasteland because Requiem was vanilla. So that was your only way across the desert was to walk there first time. And you need Lens logically for that. Not these workers care. Ooh, big chest. That's small chest. Sorry, cutscene gets confusing sometimes in Composer Grave, so that's that.
It's all about perspective.
That
Yeah,
is also the flame storage glitch that I mentioned earlier. One of two glitches that allowed Ocarina of Time Rando really sponge the first into Way of the Hero Fire here. Ocarina of Time can get incredibly broken, incredibly fast with glitches, so it is mostly a glitchless rule set, also in part to help make it easier for newer runners.
So Salty's in Fire Temple, no Goron's tunic, and no hammer. How much can Salty actually check here with 40-second time limits?
40 seconds is not a problem. Depends on key layout. We'll find out here fast. He can do 40 seconds, I'm pretty sure he also has a bottle. And he is hammerlocked at a fire temple, but does get his iron boots!
So we now need Zora to run to Water Temple, or is that?
No, we don't! Okay, let me explain this real fast. So, in these settings, and in most races really, we have fewer tunic requirements enabled. So, you don't need a Zora tunic for much of anything, really. The only thing it is actually required for is the central pillar chest in Water Temple, and I think Sponge can do it on 7 cards. Sponge might be able to do it on 6 cards anyway. And Fire Temple is not required for Death Mountain Crater. It is required for Fire Volvagia and Fire Temple beyond the elevator. Those iron boots are in logic without a Goron tunic, although they know where a Goron tunic is anyway, so it doesn't matter there.
Ella got the light arrows now.
Yep. Sarias is going to dip this completely useless bottom of the well. Sponge is going to get his, I think, second tunic was what it was out of Tektite Grotto. Also known as ATZ Grotto, because the particularly well-known runner named ATZ accidentally abandoned a check in here once. And lost his race because of it. And, oh, that's actually another bomb bag. Huh, what do you know? That's nice. I mean, if we're right there, might as well get it. Not particularly useful. We are at bomb bag percent.
Oh, Ella is resaying back to Star of GTD.
Yeah, it's easier to just do that instead of walking out. Okay, he has 7 keys now, so it's going into Mason can access the big chest in the middle. Should be at least one small key in here somewhere. Dylan is now heading out to GTG. Sponge is doing Hyrule field checks on his way to Water Temple. Can full clear it with a bows, iron boots, long shot, and strength, along with Song of Time if he really, really needs it. Sadly, still doesn't have his hover boots, so doesn't have that time save. Hover boots are not required in Forest Temple, and Water Temple make it quite a bit nicer. Although Sponge is good enough, it doesn't make much of a difference for him anyway.
Alright, we're finally getting to see what's in the middle of this area, and it's the Beer Shield!
Beer Shield! That's required.
That's big. That's Turnrova right there. And
Yes, it is.
Despair Temple. Sun puzzles, the light puzzles.
And to reflect Turnrova's beams. Yep, that does confirm Song of Time is Way of the Hero in Sigur's Forest Meadow, so that clears up some of our logic. Doesn't mean Boomerang or Sunsong can't be Way of the Hero, but it does make them less likely. It does make it less likely that those are the hinted Way of the Hero. One of those is hinted Way of the Hero item. I think item in Sigur's Forest Meadow. Because yes, there was at least one key on the right side of GTG, which is logically Song of Time locked. And I think there's probably a key in the toilet too, although I'm not sure how many small key chests Elagatua skipped as well, so. Sponge in the meantime is off at Water Temple.
But the small key in the toilet is in logic with the iron boots that's in the Fire Temple, right?
Sorry, what?
The toilet, it's in logic with iron boots at the start of...
Yes, it is.
Yep, so...
Song of Time, Hookshot, and Iron Boots puts that in logic.
And Salty's in the Water Temple now.
Yes, he is.
So how does the time to heart ratio work?
8. So it's the number of actual hearts you have, not the number of, like, at the time. So in this case, he does have a full 6 hearts, but if he had 5 hearts, but like Elagatua would have 5 hearts per timer purposes. It's 8 hearts, 8 seconds per full heart, so 4 per half heart, and so on and so forth. Oh, to note, also, since this was a small chest, SaltySponge here shot the switch, so you can actually, using, invincibility frames, iframes, roll through the pillars of water or fire to get the chest, but that only really works if it's a big chest, I think. Doesn't work so well when it's small, like it was there for Sponge. Yeah, it's 8 seconds per heart for both water timers and fire timers, by the way, in terms of burning up. Or drowning, as context goes. 40 seconds is fine for Sponge,
both ways
though.
are horrible ways to go. Let's just be honest here.
So, map chest here. The chest Sponge did that had a key that from the switch is called the compass chest. This here is the map chest. These are the only 2 chests in Water Temple in logic without Zelda's Lullaby, actually, so. He has Zelda's Lullaby, so it makes jack all difference to him, but it is something to note.
Looks like it's a small chest too.
That's a small key. Yeah. It's also when you enter the water or when you enter the hot area for fire and water timers, so if you lose health in the area, it doesn't decrease your timer by that, so. Alright, SariasObject is now getting his bottle and finishing off a completely useless well.
And going
Also,
to Child Spirit.
Yep, and that is an ad for DylanMeeble taking an unfortunate death in GTG. Elagatua is finding a hint that okay, that is a harpy, isn't how the classes arch. Adult archery is dead. They all have done it. It was indeed dead. So not a very useful hint for any of these runners. Always love when a hint tells you that something you already did is useless. Thanks, game.
Alright, so Dylan is now going to be getting their light arrows and hopefully their mirror shield. And GTD, Salty's still meandering their way through Water Temple, as Sarias is now doing their Spirit Temple.
Yeah, Sarias doesn't have a bow, so so he is unfortunately short of mirror shield. We hope he finds one soon and then goes back to GTG. There's the key in Child Spirit for Sarias.
Alternatively, would getting the iron boots help out the key problem for Sarias? To get the toilet, whatever?
If the toilet is a key, I think so. I think toilet is a key if I was counting it, if I looked at keys correctly, but I could be wrong.
Oh, big key in Child.
Here's the big key. Thanks, game. Child Spirit very much required. It had the only small key and the big key. You know, if there was a key on adult side, you could. Child Spirit would, and nothing, and the boss key was an adult side, you would still be logically required to go Child Spirit because Spirit Temple requires all 5 keys in logic. among many, many other things. And alright here, so since we did see that mirror for Elagatua about 6 minutes ago, we are now light arrows, and so we are just a hammer from no mode. And oh, that's a fun spot for water boss key, it's bow locked. On the rock push chest of water. Not exactly good news for SariasObject, who still doesn't have a bow. That chest is hard bow locked. It is the only check that is absolutely 100%. It is one of only 2 checks that is absolutely 100% hard bow locked, no matter what in Water Temple. Black push, or actually this one's called central bow target usually.
I was not doing Child Spirit. We get all the good keys here.
There's a key on the eye statue for DylanMeeble. So this chest and the one he's about to get are both also hard bow locked in GTG. My 30s gold bow seed recently had both of the other bows on these 2 chests. Hard bow locked.
Well,
Thank you, game.
Looks like Salty's going for the bus. Morpheus. Morpheus.
It's called Morpha in this game. There's other bosses in other games called different things that are similar.
Take the blue pill, Neo. All right.
Also, demonstrating the power of the Begoran sword and crouch stabs. Jump flash, crouch stab, and Morpha's down. Nice quick kill. It is a pain in the butt to do in vanilla, but it can be incredibly fast and random, as Sponge just did an excellent demonstration of.
Like it's the spirit big key.
Yep. Sponge will be the first runner to pick up his 2nd stone here in a minute off Morpha.
Morpha only had a small key.
Yes, indeed. So Fire Temple and Water Temple, because they are both pretty open-ended, you can get to the boss immediately. Both Morpha and Volvagia can have small keys. They will often have small keys, in fact, because you don't need small keys to get to them. You just need a boss key and nothing else. I was about to wonder why Sponge didn't shoot the sun, and I remembered, like, how he doesn't need to. Oopsies. I am actually not sure what stone the Water Temple gave.
Kokiri.
Okay, Emerald, thank you.
So that means spirit is sapphire.
That is correct.
Now we're doing the dig game for bombs.
Yep, that's called Dumpy Digging in OTR for reference.
This looks like it's only 1 dig in randomizer.
Oh yeah, you don't even have to be in a dig spot. Thank goodness for quality of life things. And alright, Sponge is also taking himself over to GTG now. Elagatua is unfortunately gonna go clear a completely useless bottom of the well, as Dylan goes to do horseback archery. We know 1500 is a Goron tunic of dubious usefulness. 1000 is an option though, still. And unknown.
Dylan got the mirror shield, so GGD's done for them and gained that Goron's tunic.
Yeah, we'll see if he picks it up. He is only on 6 hearts, so it's not a terrible idea.
I mean, the hammer could be, like... Could the hammer be deeper in fire?
No! We saw the iron boots on the first chest, Kuchiri. Oh! There's the Rudo's ladder in the right invisible chest of Spirit Temple for SariasObject. Oh no.
Well, that boomerang.
Yes, that boomerang.
But there's only 4 checks and
Rabu.
yeah.
And one of them is not boomerang. Boomerang chest is obviously not boomerang lock. Alright, Dylan has got nothing. 1000 HPA and is gonna go to 1500 for his Goron tunic now, which does make sense. He's good enough he can do it pretty quickly. So,
Safety is safety, though.
and it's 6 hearts. It's pretty quick. It might as well at this point. He knows what it is. Alright, SariasObject, unfortunately, not having a mirror shield is going to bail out a Spirit Temple. Yeah, CSMC might increase the value of Goron tunic because you do get to pick based on chest size. And you have less health, and so you have less health because all health upgrades are in small chests. So you'll notice none of these runners are on very much health, which is normally in the seed you'd have a bit more than 7 hearts by an hour and 40 to 34 minutes, but this is CSMC. Chest size matches contents for sure is CSMC for those who don't know.
So Sarias is going over to Zora's domain now?
Yes he is. No, not yet. This is not his fastest way to Zora's domain. He's gonna do some checks here in the Kakariko area first. His fastest way to Zora's domain would be to save quit, and then to dive to Zora's River from Lost Woods. This is definitely not his fastest method there. I mean, he might be going there via this way, I guess, forgotten he has a scale, but it's certainly not the most efficient method of getting there. I suppose it gets him the Frog's 1 check, but, yeah, not the most efficient method overall of getting over there. DylanMeeble having fire arrows will be the first of our runners to check the Wasteland chest. This can be hinted sometimes, but not today, so... what does fire arrows lock? Yeah, it looks like there's a very good chance that SariasObject's going to be a serious problem at this rate, unfortunately. Because they still don't have it. Hey Melrose, yes I do have days off. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't helping. I do tend to be mostly pretty active in the OTR community. I do take days off. I just decided, hey, I might as well have fun over here and teach some people more about Ocarina of Time over on SpeedGaming, since we don't do it over here on SpeedGaming too often. Melrose being another active Ocarina of Time randomizer runner who I see a lot.
Ooh, Sarias is doing frogs, even though frogs...
If this is a Frog's 1 check, which he only requires Song of Storms for, this can be an item, and hey, there's a bow! He's bailed out! But yes, no, I do have days off. I just like to do this because I enjoy it. I do with the LTPPR and Ocarina of Time. Rando Kacheri saw me the other day on the LTPPR, and I do help out occasionally with other randos. Ocarina memory game, Melrose. I don't know why, but SariasObject has completely skipped it this whole time. It's a super easy check. It's like, I don't know, Uncle Chest or something in the LTTPR for ease.
You'd be so surprised how many people skip it, though.
It's like, Sphere 0. It's slightly annoying, but not a pain in the rear.
Actually, Dark Cross is probably more like Ocarina minigame.
Might be one of it's our Front of Escape or something, like slightly annoying but not serious. Yeah, Melrose is indeed familiar with all 4 of these runners, because these are 4 relatively some of the more well-known runners in the community. We have a really good set of runners appeared in this race, because we have 4 off-race streams: Holy Sparks, Cabaroni, Mr. Martin, and Zephyr. Alright, SariasObject has decided to show his Ruto's letter and leave, so he's thinking about Ice Cavern is my guess. Or just Forest Temple, because he finally found a bow.
Yeah, gotta catch on up with the Forest Temple checks here.
Yep, it is CSMC, so for those who are just joining us, Moros and others, if any others, we have Ganon's Ballsky and Medallion and Vanilla Light Arrow Cut and Vanilla Light Arrow and Stone Bridge and Chest Size Matches Contents. Otherwise, standard tourney settings that you all know. Yeah, sorry, those are many what's nice. The other one's on Ocarina of Time. So this is actually logical Forest Temple access. Is in Ice Cavern. Yeah, technically, Ruto's letter locks Forest Temple.
Dylan's about ready to get the iron boots.
Alright, so we are currently, for those who don't know, a hammer from no mode, because we need to complete Water Temple, Forest Temple, Spirit Temple to get to Ganon's Castle for the Rainbow Bridge, and we need a Fire Temple and the Shadow Medallion we started with to get the Ganon's Boss Key. We have everything we need to complete the game except for that hammer, and here's a thought, that hammer can be in Ganon's Castle, because we do have logical Rainbow Bridge access at this point.
How many checks are in Ganon's Castle?
16!
Oh man. Do we do the Ganon's Castle big key game, but not really big key game because we're looking for hammer?
No, we don't have such a game really in Ocarina of Time right now. We do, however, well, there's no formal bet bot, I don't think, in SpeedGaming, but you guys can put guesses in chat. Where do you think that hammer is? Serenade is on Burning Hack Incoherent. We saw a hint for it. That's an always hint in these settings, since it is Stonebridge and Medallion lacks for boss key. I don't feel like explaining the exceptional all this really nitty-gritty details on hint logic offhand. You know, you're finding Incoherent, it's not the most obvious thing. That's also, hint logic is also why, so Burning Cack is the always hit and not the Ocarina of Time song, which you know to be Saria's Minuet with the other Ice Cavern, because of the change in things. Yeah, so right, yeah, chat, get your guesses in. Where is that hammer? It can't be Fire Temple. That's pretty much the only place it can't be. Yes, hammer can be in Ice Cavern. It can be in Ganon's Castle. It can be in in the last couple checks of Spirit Temple. It could be in Shadow Temple, Jabu, Ice Cavern. It could be just somewhere in the overworld. You don't know.
We still need Din's Fire for Shadow Temple if that's the thing. So our runners definitely don't want to see Din's Fire.
No, they don't. We still have a ways to go. We also didn't see all the checks in Water Temple, so that is still an option. We have plenty of options. Maybe because I do love them. Let's go with hammer on, I don't know. Let's go with Bongo Bongo. Because Stone Shed, unrequired shed always finds a way. Yeah, we have a lot of checks left for hammer, so people get your guys if you want, because that's the only thing we need. We have everything else we need to complete the game except for that hammer. And we can actually do, let's see, Forest, we can do Forest Trial, we can do Water Trial, as far as checks go against us. We can do Forest Trial and Water Trial, those two require no items. We can do Spirit Trial with a Hookshot and Bomb Choose. We can do Shadow Trial with Longshot and Fire arrows alone, actually. Since we can use them. And Light Trial is currently out until we find Strength 3.
I do love the animation of String 3 when you pick up the two pillars.
Oh yes, so that is called the Yeet That Rock in Ocarina of Time Rando. Because, well, you yeet the pillar. Yep. It is entirely possible we need to eat a rock or two because there are 9 checks in Strength 3. 8 in Light Trial and 1 in Outside Canon's Castle Fairy. To note also, for those who don't know, trials are turned off for Ocarina of Time Randomizer because usually the only thing you need by the time you get to Garen's Castle are light arrows, and since you need with Ganon's boss key being removed, so you don't really have any reason to do trials. It just adds extra time that you don't need to do. Oh, there's the hammer. Map just the Spirit Temple. Okay, that's go mode. That's no mode for us.
Yeah, so Ella, when Ella goes to Fire Temple next, because you know Ella's going to go to Fire Temple next with a hammer, to be in go mode.
Yep, that is a no mode for us. Yeah, if trials were on, half the seeds would just be strength 3 hunts because 2 of the 6 trials are for a strength 3 for completion. Oh, that feels bad for SariasObject, who did not have a bow to get his fire arrows to get that hammer on his trip to Spirit Temple. This just feels bad. Yep. Alright, in the meantime, Sponge is off to Spirit Temple, Sarias is finally doing Forest Temple, having finally found a bow, and Dylan's just chugging through Water Temple. Does have hover boots to make this boss key chest considerably easier. It logically requires long shot, but you can use just hover boots for it instead. You're also supposed to go around and not just hover boot across to this thing, but they don't care. And Dylan is safe scumming the 2 keys he used to get there since that is not it. We know that his boss key is on the central bow target. Yeah, that is. Elagatua currently has to do the rest of Spirit Temple, which is gonna take him less than 10 minutes. He has to do Water Temple, which, depending on routing, could take anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes. Can't be much more than that. Gonna get his Riddler's letter here and be kind of annoyed by it, but he's in go mode.
Not annoyed, he's in go mode.
No, he technically isn't in go mode, but he's going to go to Fire Temple after this and find his Iron Boots, and then he'll be in go mode and not care about the seed anymore. So, Hammer will Spirit Map Chest VXR. SariasObject didn't have a bow to get his fire arrows out of GTG to get that hammer, and didn't do child climb of a Spirit Temple, so he doesn't have it, which feels terrible. Yeah, it was definitely an interesting play for SariasObject to not do Child Spirit Climb since he didn't have a bow or a fire source to do those checks, because there are 2 checks that are fire locked in Spirit Temple, the map chest, which had the hammer, and the sunblock room, which and those 2 are logically fire locked. Spirit Key Logic is a nightmare, so it isn't particularly terrible today, at least. Yeah, that would just be unfortunate. Yeah, I figured it would just kill a few business for us. Yeah, poor SariasObject is not getting his hammer. Because he needs to go back. Well, he doesn't need to go back to GTG, but for the fire arrows, he doesn't need to go back there for the bow, for the mirror shield, which will get him his fire arrows. Which will net him his hammer, which will get him his iron boots, which will be his go mode. It's kind of unfortunate, because he has a bunch of options right now. He could go to Jabush, he could go to Ice Cavern. If he finds dense fire, he needs to go to Shadow. He might go to Shadow Temple. This isn't great news, unfortunately, for poor SariasObject. Skipping Ocarina memory game and not finding a bow for an hour and a half just isn't being helpful to him. Poor guy.
It's gonna be one of those things where, you know, you watch back and you always just remember to do it.
Yeah. Alright, Dylan has found his boss key and is going to continue in Water Temple looking for his hammer, I assume. Unfortunately, we know it's not there, but it's not a bad play from his perspective. He's still looking for it. There's a not zero chance that it's somewhere here in Water Temple. Unfortunately, I don't think he had enough time to do the Central Pillar chest. Only on about 6 hearts and doesn't have a Zora tunic. Oh yeah, our Way of the Heroes, by the way, were, Requiem out of Colossus, Claim Check out of Goron City, I'm assuming at this point for Fire Temple Key Logic. Volvagia has the key to lock your ability to get to the pillar, which is... SFM Way of the Hero for Song of Time, since you needed that logically to get your Mirror Shield. Decotrate Way of the Hero for a long shot and lens, and then Fire Temple Way of the Hero for Iron Boots.
Alright, Ella's on the Tronrova fight.
Also known as Trollroba because RNG can suck.
Got the first hit down on the Fire Witch.
Little thing you can do here is use the hookshot. Hold one witch in place while her sister shoots, so you can keep her in a good spot, in a good position to hit. This makes it much nicer. Sponge is also going to go to Spirit Temple and also hit Go mode here, so he won't be actually all. And he and Elagatua will be quite close, since Elagatua still has to do go fire, get Iron Boots, and then kill Volvagia and go Water Temple, while Sponge has done water already, so they'll end up being really close. Dylan, unfortunately, still needs to go back to Spirit Temple. To get his hammer to be in his go mode, and SariasObject needs to get back to GTG.
Alright, Tronrova's on phase 2 now.
Yep. Settings command does not exist on SpeedGaming, unfortunately. It is at the bottom of the screen, though. Settings is a thing over on Zelda speedruns, by the way, Cherry.
We used to have settings, and then we just got tired of updating the settings every seed, because we used to do like 50 Zelda seeds a day.
I have no idea. I have absolutely no clue, Sarks. I don't know why we're doing these settings instead of the regular race settings, but someone came up with them, and that's
we're doing these settings because these are going to be the settings for SG Live.
But why did they pick these settings in the first place is another question.
The idea is less dungeons means more time to try and get all the races in the 5 days we have the event for.
Okay, that's fair. CSMC does that as well.
Yeah, JC, who's been trying hard to make sure all the tournaments are, you know, still competitive while bite size is in the chat. And basically the whole idea is, instead of having 3.5 hour long seeds, we're trying to keep all the seeds down to 2 or 2.5 hour long seeds.
Yeah.
Which looks like Ella is going to have, what would you say, like a 220?
Something like that. So, it depends on where the Fire Temple key is, what routing he takes in the Water Temple ultimately. Sponge is also going to be pretty... They will both sub 230 for certain. No idea right now on SariasObject and Dylan, but... Elagatua and Sponge are well on their way to sub 230ing this.
Yeah,
so Elagatua is about to hit Go mode with these Iron Boots in about 5 seconds.
So basically, the whole idea is, in 5 days, these runners are going to have to play anywhere from 7 to 8 races. So
Elagatua is not happy with Iona's rage slashing the chat. Because he knows he could have had those a while ago. Especially because Bolero was basically free on SariasObject. CSMC is not in usual race settings, Starks.
Yeah, if you guys want to join in on the tournament, you guys can as well. The tournament changes depending on how many people in here.
Sponge did get hammer correct. Yeah, you can go check that out. I'm actually not sure what this is. Oh yeah, gold skill in water is funny. I guess there's that. I'm not sure what the commands all are. We don't apparently have an Ocarina of Time Discord command, so I'm gonna go link that manually, I suppose.
No, it's Zooter. We have Zooter.
Oh, that's what it is? Okay, because I'm used to it being ALT2PR without any additional. Okay, Zooter, there we go, so that command. No, Sponge did check the map chest small time.
And Sponge is on Turnroba.
Yeah.
And Dylan finished Malfa for the Kokiri Emerald, and Sarias is now playing Dead Man's Volley against Famganon.
Yeah. Oh, I think Sponge should have his hammer, but he might not have done map chest. I actually genuinely don't know offhand. Just kind of paying attention to a few other things. Right. Elagatua did the boss key loop of fire, found the small key, and is now going to move on. We'll confirm whether or not Sponge has his hammer once he does a menu check to save quit, I'm assuming. No, not necessarily, but we'll see eventually. It might take a bit. There is Phantom Ganon and more down for Sarias just as Dylan finishes off. Morpha, nice double boss kill on that side. There's another small key for Elagatua, so he is continuing in Fire Temple. And SariasObject is back to Spirit Temple.
Alright, according to JC and Chad, these are going to be the same for qualifiers. More tweaks may come if necessary.
Alright, okay, so SariasObject is going to go through the wasteland backwards, known as Reverse Wasteland, to go back to GTG, so he will get fire arrows and mirror shield hopefully here. And alright, check for Elagatua, which is another small key in Fire Temple. Still no boss key. And okay, I looked over at Sponge's screen. He does have his hammer marked in his personal. Look at Sponge's personal screen. He does have hammer marked in his personal tracker. So he is set. He's in go mode, and well,
he only has Fire Temple to do.
Yeah, he does. He will be first here on Restream. Since Elagatua still has to do Water Temple. Yeah, SariasObject is on very low health and needs to not die to levers right now. Which are the green spinny thingies in the desert.
Wait, those aren't shoes? I'm kidding, I know.
Yeah, levers are going to leave SariasObject alone. It's a bit of fun, lever me alone sometimes. Because levers can be quite annoying, especially if you're trying to get through a place on low health like SariasObject was there. Alright, Sponge and Elagatua are both. The Sponges is going to join Elagatua in fire. He's already gotten his iron boots and done water, so he will not have to do that again. Has apparently forgotten that though, because he's going back there.
Muscle memory!
Oh wait, no, he's gonna get a fairy here, which makes more sense, because he is on slightly low health and his timer's a little wonky. There's another small key for Elagatua in the lower boulder maze. And there's fire arrows for SariasObject. I was like, why is Sponge going this way? He already got iron boots from here, but no, a fairy makes sense, because this will revive you and reset your timer if you die or run out of time. There's boss key from Spirit for Dylan. Yeah, I think it will be pretty close between Elagatua and Sponge. Sponge will do the boss key loop, and Elagatua's a couple minutes ahead on fire, but still to do water temple. So we'll see how they'll be pretty close. I think Sponge has a bit of an edge, but it depends honestly on how long it takes Elagatua to find boss key and water temple.
Another small key.
Yep,
You gotta go deep for this big key.
Yeah, but it can't be too deep because hover boots are way of the hero, and the only thing they're way of the hero for is fire temple. Yeah, the Morphle cutscene takes ages, as does just whole end of Lake. So for fire temple key logic, if Volvagia has a key that your ability to get up to the top where you can hammer down the pillar, then you logically need hover boots to go across the Volvagia. So boss key should be here the next couple of checks, because otherwise hover boots aren't way of the hero, because we haven't seen anything else that they lock.
Another small key for SaltySponge, and Ella drops all the way down.
That was Sponge's first key, actually. He's in the lower boulder. He's in the flirt boss key loop, so... There's yet another key for Elagatua. And SariasObject is on his way to his mirror shield. Thankfully. Not sure where Dylan is going, but... We know, unfortunately for him, he needs to go to Adult Spirit to get his hammer and finish it, and then go to Fire Temple for his iron boots so he can go finish water to finish the seed. There's mission for Sarias.
Yep, Dylan already has iron boots. So.
Oh, he does?
Where's...
Oh, right, he does. Yeah, never mind. Brain fire. So he just needs to go to. He's gonna do some child cleanup and then go there. We have seen Lenzenko here, and that was in our ridiculously loaded Way of the Hero deck. Secretary also with a long shot and
both
scale on the bottle.
Both hook shots. It's insane.
Yeah. It was a ridiculous seed. Alright, actually, interestingly enough, Elagatua has managed to make it all the way to the top of Fire Temple here. Has no keys, though. What's it? If Highest Goron and Hammer Chest both have small keys, then that's still Hover's locked. Yep, yeah, that's Hover's locked because you need to hover boots across to the chest instead of opening a key door for it. Fire Temple key lock can get a little wonky with hover boots. Which does tell me, I believe, boss key is either on the compass chest or on Pierre, and poor Elagatua doesn't actually have Pierre, the Scarecrow. So yeah, I don't think he's been to Adult Lake, because that's foolish and he doesn't have iron boots, so he doesn't have a reason to go there. Well, he didn't have iron boots until just recently, so... Dylan is going adult, thank you. So we'll hopefully soon be off to adult spirit and hit go mode with hammer. Bosky is actually proven to be decently trolling despite hover boots being way of a hero. Usually that tells you it's an early fire, but today it's kind of deep. It's just fire key logic. Decided to put both 2 keys on highest Goron and hammer chest. If I did my math correctly or something similar, just lousy key placement. He managed to make it all the way up to the very top of Fire Temple without any keys, which does make it logically required that you need hover boots. Fire Temple key logic isn't as bad as Spirit key logic. It just turns out that Spirit key logic isn't being very useful today. Oh hey, double defense was in the Spirit boss key chest. I did miss that earlier from Elagatua.
At the top. So I can try and see if we can get a quick look up there.
That's a small key, that's what I thought. Oh boy. I don't remember if Elagatua's checked the... I'm sure Elagatua's checked the compass chest by now. So, boss key's on Pierre. Next question, does Elagatua know Pixel Shot? Because I actually genuinely don't know if he does. So for those who don't know, there's a chest on the upper boulder maze you get by hookshotting to the Scarecrow. There's also a couple Skulltulas up there. And normally you need a Scarecrow, but it is possible with Longshot to do a very, very precise, it's not 1 pixel perfect, but it's close to it, to hit the Scarecrow, to hit the platform instead. Oh, Elagatua made a video of the setup? Okay, so he presumably knows it. So we're gonna see this little thing here. As there is a way to hit the hookshot target on the platform from down below without the Scarecrow. It's just quite difficult. Normally you need a Scarecrow to get enough height for it. Killing the torch slugs, because they will screw this up and might even knock you off the maze. There's Hammer for Dylan at 2 hours and 5 minutes. Also happy 2 hours. Alright, Elagatua is going for Pixel Shot and gets it! Nice! It's not the easiest of tricks, as the name implies, Pixel Shot, but nicely done for Elagatua. It takes a little bit of setup, as you saw there, but nicely done.
First try.
Indeed. I am not sure if the other runners know Pixel Shot. Either, I'll be honest. It's not even all the top runners necessarily.
They've all
Not necessarily all the top runners know. Not even necessarily all the top runners know that trick. It's a little bit tricky. Part of the terrible pun.
Alright, Ella got the big key. Let's see how Sponge handles this.
He hasn't worked out the key logic that highest Goron and Hammer Chest both have to be small keys, or otherwise dead. I didn't actually. I think that was junk on the highest Goron check. The Fire Boss key actually can't be up here. Well, I don't know. It's with hover boots we had hero. Yeah. I think without Elagatua's in the lead, it depends on how long it takes Sponge to get Pixel Shot if he knows it. Yeah, Hakoma and Takatake, the riches that make up Twin Rover, are evil in OOT, but are really nice in Majora's Mask. Dylan's off to Tornarova, speaking of, just as Sarias finishes her off.
And Ella's on Whack-a-Volgaga.
Flare dancer. No, oh yeah, that's Malaji, sorry. Yeah, Sponge is just did a flare dancer. Yeah, whack-a-mole with the dragon. And for those who don't know, so Elagatua is going to do the bomb strat here on Volvagia, so Volvagia actually has 2 hitboxes in this fight. The one that flies around and then goes into holes, and the one that pops out of the holes that Elagatua just hit. So you can do damage to that second hitbox, the one that flies around, by bombing her. By bombing the hole that she goes into. Unfortunately, Elagatua got the bomb count wrong, so missed the 1 cycle on quick kill on Volvagia, and it's gonna have to do. But did get a really short fly cycle, I think. I hope he has a fairy bottle, because he doesn't have enough time otherwise. Alright, see you. Done. And no.
Nope.
Okay, Elagatua doesn't have enough time and doesn't have a fairy bottle, I'm assuming, so he has to. Also, Sponge apparently can't hammer through the Song of Time block, and it's just gonna play Song of Time to hit it instead. Or no, he's just gonna use that to get across, because he actually never got his hover boots off, he never got his hover boots, is what it was after Goron. There's iron boots for Sarias. Oh, also to note, Sarias did not get his hammer when he was in, Spirit Temple for the 2nd time.
Oh, rip.
Yeah, that's an oof for SariasObject, who is going to last location. It's hammer. I can't fault him for skipping it, considering he wasn't able to get it the first time around, and he didn't want to bother the 2nd time around. Probably assumes it's dead. Unfortunately for him, it is most definitely not dead. It is go mode. And alright, Sponge is going for the pixel shot setup as well. Also, yeah, can we turn Elagatua's volume down? It is incredibly loud. Wow. One of our trackers should be able to adjust it, I think, at the bottom of the tracker application. There's a button for it somewhere. Alright, there goes for Sponge, getting the pixel shot after a couple tries. Not too bad, it's a pretty tricky thing to do. And Elagatua is going to just barely survive Fire Temple.
Oh wait, that was the Kokiri sword!
Good spot for it. But that is Elagatua's Spirit Medallion, so he is going to go off the Water Temple and complete that. Like, I do think with Sponge on his way to, about to get his Fire Boss Key, I think Sponge is in the lead here between these two, but it is close. And Dylan isn't actually incredibly far behind either, it just says Fire Temple left, and...
No, we all know how that goes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's going to be here for a bit. Sponge, his Fire Boss Key. If he gets the 1 cycle on Volvagia, I think Sponge should be able to sub 220 this. Definitely will be a sub 230 for Elagatua. I don't think it's a sub 220 for him, unfortunately. SariasObject is going to last location his hammer, unfortunately. And Dylan is on his way, is in go mode, just has to spend quite a while here in Fire Temple. Okay, Sponge is making sure to have a fairy bottle, so should not have the problem that Elagatua encountered on Volvagia. Yeah, I actually think... Okay, so it's probably going to just about miss the 220 mark. It's going to be a little over, because the Ganon's tower climb generally takes about 6 or 7 minutes. And it's going to take him a minute or two to kill Vivagia. He's going to actually use bomb chew strats, so if you hit the chew with a nut, it will blow up faster. And this is the fastest way to kill Vivagia if you get it right. With Big Oron Sword, this can be a very, very fast fight. We'll see if Sponge gets it.
So he's now in Water Temple. We'll probably full clear this. Would you assume?
Yes, he will, because he's still looking for Hammer, has no idea he skipped it, and isn't going back. Alright, and that is a very nice quick kill off Vivagia with Choose for Sponge. He'll be getting his final item required to complete the game at about just over 2 hours and 14 minutes, and then we'll be off to Ganon's Castle to complete the seed in about probably 221, 222 here, it looks like. Will be his final time.
A little bit of a redemption from last time Salty was on his showcase. Salty missed out on Din's fire and the Dorito training maze. Couldn't see the big chest in there, and everyone else grabbed it, and Salty ended up forfeiting at the very end.
Oh, that feels bad. That just
So a bit of a redemption arc here.
Yeah, that kind of thing is sort of what I feel like is kind of hurting SariasObject, is when you actually miss an item for any number of reasons. Misidentifying as thinking a large chest is actually small, or just not having the items first time around to get a chest. It can really hurt. But then again, Rando will also Rando, as we all know. That was a key on the watching, and I thought it would have been a key. Which did confirm hover fire was hover boots locked.
Doesn't matter the game, Rando will Rando.
Oh, it will. It will always find ways to be rude, but for all SariasObject knows it's a recovery heart like the one he just got or something, and the spirit map chest, unfortunately, it's not. And he's gonna be screwed by it. I'm just hoping for his sake he doesn't find Din's fire anytime fast, because it'll send him to Shadow Temple, which is gonna take him a while. Alright, Sponge is now climbing up Ganon's tower. I guess this is a decent opportunity for me to go to the bathroom real quick before we do interview. Be back in a minute.
If you're just joining us, don't forget to give all of our runners we're showcasing today a follow. We're putting a good show. Don't forget this is also all for SpeedGaming Live. We have multiple tournaments going on. Even if Ocarina of Time is not your cup of tea, we have like Mega Man X, if you want to join a Mega Man X tournament, that kind of stuff. You're more than welcome to join any of those. And Salty.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back. Salty is now about ready to enter the Ganondorf boss fight. One quick round of Dead Man's Volley, and then we'll be on a big pig for the finale.
Yep, and so Ganondorf will also tell him that you'll never beat me with the light arrows from Ocarina Training Grounds. Which gets a bit of an... Because he does give you a hint for light arrows, but it's...
Oh, well, no, it was Gorilla Trains rounds. It's Hammer for Spirit Temple. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'll get you right now. Using the bottle for this? Hilarious.
Yep, because Bottle has a giant hitbox. Because this game is well coded.
And Ganon 1's down.
That's Ganondorf down, not Ganon 1.
I'm so glad that escape isn't in the rando.
It is disabled for race settings, yes. Because it's just an annoying extra time sink.
Yeah, Salty's gonna get some good redemption here. Definitely gonna be the first one that finishes the seed on Restream. First half the fight's down. Maffa's down for Ella, and Sarah's about ready to defeat the boss as well.
Also, hello, SpeedGaming 3 rating of the party of 33. We have 8 people in this race. For Ocarina of Time, Sponge is here is about to be the first person on the Restream to finish. In about just over 2:20, looks like very nice time. Elagatua and DylanMeeble are too far behind. SariasObject is unfortunately way behind.
Alright, once SaltySponge hits A on Ganon's face, it's going to be GG. SaltySponge will be the first finisher on the Restream, and the first finisher overall was official race time GG time of 2 hours, 20 seconds, and 27 seconds.
2 hours, 20 seconds, and 20 seconds.
So 2 hours, 20 minutes, and 20. Oh yeah.
Words.
It's one of those days.
Yeah, we did have one for fit earlier, so we do still have 6. It's 3 other runners going off Restream. GG's to Sponge though. We'll see if he.
Ella's going to race off to Ganon's castle now. Gavaroni has finished in second place, 2:21:59.
Nice.
Yeah, so the reason for these settings was basically trying to get somewhat close to like a 2:30 average time. Because on normal tournament settings, how long do these seeds normally go?
Tournament settings, so for top runners, like most of the people in this race, the top runners like Elagatua, Sponge, Gavaroni, Mr. Martin is another one who are really top, and the others are pretty good as well. They can sub for most seeds. Even the most ridiculous race setting seeds of all time generally can be sub for'd by people like Sponge. Sub 430 for like maybe more for Dylan and SariasObject who are quite top 32 level. Elagatua is pretty close to the top 32, I think, but just generally top runners are close to it, like very good. Can sub for most seeds. Sub 3 the nicer ones. Sub 220 is pretty nice, actually, for something pretty close to it.
Yeah, so, when someone was asking why we have these settings, that's why. Because, we're trying to make things nice and short. And GG, how you doing today? Redemption! Redemption from last week!
Yeah, I
Yeah.
no clue how I won this.
Yeah, GG, Sponge. You got
Rose is
irons
going to
pretty
Jabba
early.
Jabba.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
no,
got
no,
irons
Ice
pretty
Cavern,
early, and, well, yeah, pretty good execution, I think, was the other thing. Also did Folklore Water Temple, which helped.
Yeah, I was thinking, I'm like, how is nobody done yet when I'm climbing fire? I'm thinking, all right, boss keys in the hammer chest, because somebody, I was when I missed that bow in Ocarina game, and I'm like, okay, well now we go to forest, that leads to nothing. Next logical step is clearly GTG to Colossus, because Colossus is way the hero. And so you do that, you get Mirror Shield, you go into Spirit, you get Hammer. I'm like, how is nobody done or close to finishing yet? Like, this seed is very much step 1, step 2, step 3. I guess the iron.
What happened to the other runners? So on Restream, we don't know about off Restream, but Elagatua similar, but Folklore Water is probably the biggest difference between you two. He's only a few minutes behind, just got onto Ganondorf.
Sarias was up there, like, in the lead, but missed the hammer.
And also, well, missed hammer because he skipped Ocarina Memory Game for ages and finally got a bow off Frog's Wine about an hour and a half in. And now he's off the Ice Cavern, so he's gonna find his logical forest access. That's about it.
Oh, man. I'm glad I wasn't the only one to skip Ocarina game. I've been doing that a lot lately, because it's just... Those 2 checks take so long. It's like 2 minutes combined. Little over 2 minutes combined, both checks, if you don't have Fun Song.
Also to note, yeah, Dylan did get AD, which was Saria's song. Dylan, unfortunately, I was like, what's he doing? Oh, right, but Dylan doesn't know. I had pixel shots with his opposite Pierre, because he didn't do that earlier as a child. No serenade there, because it's on Burning Camp. It feels bad. Feels bad.
Pixel shot?
Apparently not, because that's what he's getting Pierre because he doesn't know Pixel Shot.
That is
He wouldn't
shocking.
be in Trial Link at the 2 hour 27-25 market. Or, he's playing Prelude, he set Pierre. Yeah, I'm not sure what he's doing right now, because I thought he was looking here for Pierre, but I can't remember if he said it earlier. Imagine metagaming a lot of people who do that wall. Oh, Dylan's taking a pee break out. Also, hi, SpeedGaming 4 rating with the party 51. GG, welcome in as we see, Elagatua here is about to finish off the seed. DylanMeeble is apparently taking a quick break, and SariasObject is stuck. And unfortunately, so SariasObject didn't get the bow for the longest time, went GTG without a bow, cleared everything he could, wasn't able to get to the center chest, with a mirror shield, and also missed fire arrows because those didn't have the bow, because he didn't have the bow. And he got fire arrows, so he went Spirit Temple, cleared most everything out of it he could without a bow or mirror shield or without a fire source or mirror shield. Went back in after mirror, but didn't do the fire locked checks. So he's out of luck. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And geez, Elagatua, 226.45, third place behind Gavroni and Sponge here. Trash seed. Well, actually, it wasn't that terrible, all things considered, but it certainly was kind of rude.
So when you guys found the boomerang, were you kind of worried that Jabby might this was a oops all dungeon seed after all?
No, not at all. You look at Light Medallion and you just forget it exists until it's the last thing you have left to do.
It was just the Sacris Forest Meadow. Oh, there was Forest Wind, Ice Cavern Compass Chest.
Oh, if Sarias finds Din's fire in here.
He's royally screwed if he finds Dins. I'm really hoping he doesn't.
I'm pretty sure they'd be able to metagame that out. For sure. There is no way in heck that you got peeps finishing 220 if it's just sitting in shadow. To be honest. That's my analysis anyway.
Yeah, alright. If it wasn't nice, at least the song is Minuet. I don't think Minuet's helping SariasObject any right now. Bridge requirement is the 3 spiritual stones. Is it so? You guys, we never saw the Ganon's castle really. You could have. Hammer could have been in there, and we were debating for a little bit where it could be. Nope. No spirit temple fire locked. Thanks, game.
GG Ella, welcome. How you doing?
GG's?
Pretty good with the seed, to be honest.
Yo, when I saw Valley and Lake Hylia Baron, I'm like, nice, I get 5 minutes on Ela.
Did you know about the Goron City Way to Hero for hovers?
Nope, not at all.
Yeah, that would have been really unfortunate because I had hovers the whole seed waiting for them to lead to something, and it turns out I think it's for like 4 stacks.
Fire key logic, because you got to the compass chest with 0 keys. That's logically hovers locked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never picked them up. I intended to pick them up, but I never did. I'm like, alright, I'll pick them up if I find Dins.
So the reason I was tilted is because both of the hints were in places that you skip. One was in Gerudo Valley, and one was the tree side of the tree. So I was like, he's never going to get this Goron City Way of the Hero hint. If it's in Child Goron City, I'm going to like just laugh at Sponge. He's going to finish in like 3 hours. And then it's on Hot Rodder, and it leads to hover. So I'm like, okay, great. Just as soon as Shadow Temple shows up here, like we're going to be golden. And then I keep waiting, and then forced access becomes a thing. And I keep waiting, and just find on my go mode without the hovers. I'm like, okay, well, I guess Sponge wins. I put it in my chat at 1 hour 40. I was like, well, Sponge wins.
Nice, lol. Oh my, we're really, really hoping poor SariasObject doesn't find Jins right now, because I'm not sure we heard this, Elagatua, but SariasObject is going to hard last location hammer in spirit. He already did it. What happened to SariasObject? The poor guy did do Ocarina game. Sponge put it off for a while too, but SariasObject still hasn't done Ocarina memory game. He got his first bow an hour and like 30-something minutes in off Frogs 1. Going to turn in his Rudo's letter, which he got in Spirit Temple without a bow or fire source, because he did GTG before Spirit but didn't have a bow, so he couldn't get Mirror Shield or his fire arrows to get his hammer. He did eventually get back to GTG, got his fire arrows and Mirror Shield, went back to Spirit and killed Twinrova without getting his hammer.
I mean, though,
he's off the Jabu now.
When you're in GTG, you have to have noticed that the middle chest was a big chest.
He
like,
does.
for sure. Like,
he did.
So,
like that's why he went back, I'm assuming. His problem is Spirit Temple, that he didn't do the fire lock checks when he went back.
Oh, so okay.
So he's missing his hammer out of the map chest.
Yeah, so I don't get why you wouldn't just shoot the map chest there, to be honest. Maybe it's the old crap.
I don't know.
So gotta skip everything.
Yeah, so the thing is, too, like, you know how, funnily enough, Sparrow was, child locked? Thank you, Way of the Hero Vanilla Requiem. Funny game, funny.
I was so worried about that, actually. I'm thinking, alright, this is 50-50 forest access or vanilla requiem, and if it's forest access and we're key locked, I gotta go find another item.
Yeah, but no, but yeah, we were wondering why SariasObject didn't climb his child with no bow and no fire source. He just didn't climb. It would have saved him. He would have been in a pretty good spot if he'd climbed his child. He didn't, despite not having any method of getting the chest as adult. Couldn't even do Armor's Push. He just was stuck.
I don't know about that cheat.
Like, he's currently doing the Runia. And, oh, he's doing the pot is what he's doing. He doesn't have SariasObject yet. He's doing the...
Did you do bottom of the well this seed?
Everyone did.
Is it just me, or does it lag like insane? I was not prepared.
Are you on emulator? You're an emulator?
Yeah, it was absurd.
Gav, it's the same thing with Gav. I think like that's something that has to be addressed. Like,
It's apparently an emulator thing, according to Gav.
Because all the VC players are fine.
The GTG maze and bottom of the well, like just the whole bottom of the well, is an absolute nightmare, and I was not prepared for that. This is the first chest size matches content seed that I've ever done. So I got into bottom of the well, and I'm getting like 5 FPS, and I'm trying to like cull all the chests that are off screen so that I can actually start moving. It's the worst lag I've ever seen.
Oh my god, I actually mostly missed it, but yeah, GTG, yeah, just too much stuff for this, for the game to render properly.
Yeah, I don't know. That's definitely has to be something that's ironed out before the official start, in my opinion, because that can be very disadvantageous for emulator players specifically.
Yeah. Speaking of two, so between the two runners, SariasObject is not finding hammer for a very long time, and DylanMeeble apparently doesn't know pixel shot, so I had to go child, set Pierre, go adult, get Pierre, and then go back to fire. Felt bad.
Well, Dylan's about what, 15 minutes away from finishing though?
Less. Bovagia plus Scannons. Closer to 10. Oh, he knows it, he just forgot it existed for that. Well, Dylan didn't do pixel shot at any rate, so... Yeah. Oh. Oh. Oh, god. Yeah, so... okay, that makes sense. Yeah, no, I don't blame you guys for doing all of Fire Tunnel before going back to Pixel Shot. It was just kind of annoying. Nicely done, by the way. Pixel Shot's not the easiest trick to do. You know the setup, it's not bad, but...
Ela's setup is pretty good. I do the overly complicated hookshot extension setup, just because I feel like it's the one I practiced with.
I mean, what you know is... I mean, if you know it, it's best to stick with it.
Yeah. Where was oh, it was in Spirit, that's right, you mentioned that.
Yeah, it was Spirit Invisible Chest, right side.
Where did Dylan find gold? Or not gold, gold scale.
Gold scale was in water, like Darkling or Dragon Chest or something, because he full cleared it.
Yeah, I did the same thing with metagaming, but for the fire boss key. I'm like, this thing's gotta be on hammer chest. Actually, full cleared before Pierre, which I think is the right play if you have to do pixel shot. Just didn't work out.
Yeah, it's even better if you have gold wind.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just consider this me getting back at you for beating me by 2 seconds in ladder 2 weeks ago.
Well...
I'm just a little bit frustrated that like all the progression was in the progression, because I actually was in Spirit, and I'd done like this perfect route where I had gotten the GTG stuff, and then I'd crossed for Requiem before doing like any child stuff. Like it was all in adult 1. And then
oh, Sarias is diving Ganon for the hammer.
Hammer. It makes sense for him, but oh my god, this feels bad. He's going to very, very much less location in this hammer.
Yeah, that's rough.
Because there's no way in hell he goes back to Spirit Temple before he does everything else in the game. And that's right, he's gonna find Dins on the way somewhere too and go check out Shadowtown Hall, especially because Hovers are way of a hero. Because even though he knows you guys finished really, and you guys and Gab finished really fast, he still doesn't know where Hammer is. Oh man.
Yeah, it's tough to put a timer on it here because you don't know where the fire boss key is.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could be like, all right, well, fire takes X amount of time. Let's subtract. Be like, okay, well, where was I? Or where do I think this person was like 10 minutes ago? Based on how I envision like the perfect route to the seed, and just I don't know, try and place where you think the hammer is based on a 2:20 finish time.
Yeah.
That usually signals it's along the way somewhere.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, Sarias unfortunately has forfeited. So we'll see Sarias give up probably after seeing the small chest appear.
Probably. And Mr. Martin also, we completely missed it 10 minutes ago now. Whoopsies! Finished
Yeah, I called that.
2:29:59.
I
Just
called that.
barely cutting the sub 2:30 here. Fourth place, GG's.
I called that. I'm good on
Oh,
that.
I missed it then. Whoops. Yeah. I think that's the forfeit from SariasObject. Feels bad, unfortunately. We'll see if we can get SariasObject in for an interview, which does mean Dylan here will be the last of our runners on Racestream to finish in the next couple of minutes.
Don't forget, SpeedGaming has other shows and goodies going on. We have a almost a $2,000 prize pool world record bounty competitions we've been doing every week on Saturdays for a game we partner up with called Bite the Bullet. So we're going to have another showcase of that Saturday. The world record bounty is coming close to the end. Someone will go away with $1,000, second place $500, and third place $250.
Yep.
It's hilarious. We the very first showcase, no one finished on stream. We gave them 2 hours. Now I think the time is almost sub 120.
Nice.
But Dylan's now on the Ganon fight.
Oh, that's Ganondorf, but yep. You can check out the full
And
speed gaming
Zephyr.
schedule there.
And
Go ahead,
Zephyr
sir.
has finished in 5th place.
GG's. 240.51. GG's, Zeph. Oh, there's SariasObject in the chat. Spirit Map Chest. SariasObject. Oh, felt bad. Yeah, you didn't do that check when you fed back to Spirit with a fire sword. Oh, he didn't have arrows. Ow. Ouch. Yeah, that would do it. SariasObject, speaking of, since you're interviewing in chat, apparently, you want to know where your first bow was, because you only got your bow like an hour and a half in. You were easily the last on Racestream to get the bow. Ocarina memory game is where your first bow was. Sponge here also put it off for a bit, but did eventually get it.
I like to give Sarias props for using the slingshot casually. It's one of my favorite weapons, and Star poo-pooed it.
It's really not that useful in OTRs.
And Star continues to poo-poo it.
It's
I'm attacked as a co-commentator.
Well. No, alright, Dylan here is now on the second phase again and just picked up his Master Sword and we'll be finishing in the next minute or two. We'll also be the last of our runners to finish because he did have a forfeit relatively early on. Everyone will sub 245 this, which is pretty nice because the seed wasn't the worst. It's just, Well, Bo trolled a few people, and you needed a bow when you went to GTG.
I'm actually so happy that I ended up going back to Child Lost Woods when I did.
Mhm. Yeah,
Honestly,
Frogs
like,
1 is a black spot for Bo.
yeah, chess games save my you know what, because you can't warp out of there. So like,
Mhm.
I don't want to walk out, so you have to save warp, and that puts me back in Kokiri. I'm like, hey, I'm here. Let's just do this in Child Goron City, and
Mm.
thank
Just get
God.
your GG's in chat for Dylan, who just finished.
Yep, 6th place, 2:42:47. GG's.
GG,
We'll see if
Dylan.
he interviews.
So this is my first seed on the chess size matches content setting, and I thought it was pretty interesting. It really felt like it picked up the pace of the seed a lot, and it
Mhm.
forced you to conserve resources a lot more because you're not getting pieces of heart or bombs, especially. And it didn't really occur to me until about halfway through, like I really had to make sure that I farmed whatever drops I could when I could to make sure I wasn't running out of bombs or arrows or what have you, and also just not dying because you tend to have less hearts than usual, and so knowing that Fire Temple was going to be a thing, I kind of had to pick and choose a few chests to open to try and get up to 6 hearts because that's generally
About them.
to do Fire Temple. But it's definitely a very different feel than a normal seed. As I thought it was nice actually.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of co-op in some ways, how you tend to be on pretty low health, because in that case, well, your partner's telling you to skip everything. Hi, Dylan, by the way, joining us here in an interview. GG's.
Hi,
GG's,
how's it
Dylan.
going?
What's up, Dylan?
You sponge.
He could hear my shit-eating grin through the comm airway.
Since we said cuss word, we're not being canceled. So for everyone, have a great day. Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
My bad. Is this for real? Is this PG? I'll keep it PG.
Yeah, no, we're PG. I'll just ban you without anyone knowing real fast. Just /BA.
Damn it. Damn it. Look, it was a nice run, everybody. I guess this is it. Yeah.
No, you challenge.
And GG's, Dylan, that was a seed.
It wasn't too bad if you didn't play like a big old dumb.
Did you, Gavin chat said you forgot you knew about Pixel Shop?
I don't want to talk about it.
I was wondering why you went shop. I was like, I mean, because I figured like you might. I wasn't sure if you knew Pixel Shop, but you might at least. And I was like, and someone
Yeah.
Gav was like, yeah, he knows Pixel Shop. What's up with that?
Yeah. No, it was the big downfall was I decided to like gamble bottom of the well before going GTG, which was just an awful play in general. But
Everyone did bottom of the well, Dylan. You full cleared water, which didn't help anything.
I'm sure they did it after GTG Spirit, I would assume.
No, they didn't.
Okay. Well, all right then.
I'm a dum-dum and never got the bow from Ocarina game until I went back trial again. So
It beats poor SariasObject, who didn't get the bow till he got one off Fox 1 at an hour and a half. The late bow was also why he forfeited, because he didn't have enough arrows, among other things, for the spirit math chest. Felt bad. No, overall wasn't the worst. Nice hover with nice clip check way of the hero for that hover is locked fire logically.
Yeah, I'm also bad on that. I swear it was still for Shadow, and that we were gonna get Dins in Spirit, and then Hammer is just gonna be in Shadow, because I was shocked no one had finished at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, I think part of what extended the time too was just Child Spirit being required. Nice small key and boss key there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, logically, it was even longer because Ruda's letter was in Adult Spirit, and you technically needed to go to Ice Cavern for your forest access, which was Minuet.
Yeah, if the adult spirit had been clearable as adult, I would have child one, adult one. This seed would have been sick.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the only reason SariasObject did find a bow was because he got letter at a spirit temple and went to turn it in. Also cleared Ice Cavern, which had to go for Rosewind, by the way. That was about it.
I was wondering where letter was going to show up.
Yeah.
I figured it was in spirit, to be honest. When I go moded it.
Yep.
And what you was figuring that it was actually secretly on Bongo Bongo.
I mean, it's possible. I knew that either one of Din's or Letter was going to show up, and if Din showed up, Letter was probably in Shadow. So like one of the two was in spirit. When I was playing at the end, I'm like, okay, well, like one of these is probably in here because all that's left is like water, river, Ganons, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys all dip fire really early? Because I was so mad that it showed up in that first chest. Because I had thought about going in there like numerous times, and it would have saved me really hard.
Oh, Sponge
Gotta
did the rest
fire
of you
away the
put it
hero.
off for longer.
I was way the hero.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Way
there's
to Hero.
Grotto.
Kokiri Storms.
Carry Storms. Oh no.
Aaron, yeah. I dipped in just for the hint, got fire away the hero, and then ended up dipping before my child 3 to do child spirit and got iron, so I just went straight to water and then GTG, spirit, back child, adult spirit, finish pretty much.
Yeah, I thought about getting that hint, but by the time I did that, I had already done well. I was clearing up a river. It wouldn't have saved me much time.
Yeah, I figured the fire away the hero is pretty like useless because it's the first check. If it's like all the way in the hammer chest and the boss key is early, yeah, that's like actually massive.
Right. As it is often the case where fire is like, hey, it's barren, but hey, you still need to go all these hammer chests anyway for the boss key. I mean, it wasn't far short of it. Iron boots were in the first chest, and then you had to go all the way to Pierre. With a foolish adult lake and no serenade, have fun.
All right, friends, I got to drop. Thanks for having me on. This was really easy, and I look forward to playing these settings some more, get better at it.
Yeah, GG's. We should also wrap this up. Yeah, so unless anyone has any remaining comments, yeah, this is pretty much it for this.
Yeah, don't forget to give all the
Thanks,
runners a follow. Thank the trackers and all the stuff. Follow everything SpeedGaming Live. Don't forget to follow each other because we need more love nowadays. Anything you want to mention before we wrap?
Not particularly. If you want to learn more about Suitor, go check out those links that I just posted in chat. And apparently we don't have a Suitor Discord linked on there, but it should be somewhere in the links in there. And check out the SpeedGaming channel for more schedules. And we'll see you for another race.
All right. May the Triforce be with all you guys, and I hope you guys have a great night.
Have a good night.